Hey, we're recording. All right.
Hey.
So happy Friday, everybody. TGIF. Welcome to our Robocop reading, the amazing movie Robocop from 1987. We got a great cast here tonight. We have Travis to my left, at least the way I'm looking at it right now, playing a bunch of people, including the old man at OCP and some of the cops and bad guys throughout the movie. We have Anne playing Anne. I thought that was appropriate casting. Anne Lewis, RoboCop's intrepid partner who kicks a lot of butt. We've got Jessica doing scene description and also playing Jess Perkins. Again, I thought that was appropriate.
I dug it.
We have Hunter, of course, playing RoboCop himself, Alex Murphy.
A cop.
Yeah.
All cops are bot.
Yeah. We have Logan playing Dick Jones, who's appropriately named. He's a real dick. As well as some other people. We have Eric playing Bob Morton, who's also kind of a dick, but he creates RoboCop, so that's cool. And he'll also play some other people, including Leon, who, if you haven't seen the movie, meets an untimely end. It's amazing at the end of the movie. And then last but not least, we have Rudy playing a whole bunch of people, including Kenny, who also meets an unfortunate end towards the beginning of the movie. But he'll be playing a lot of people, including Slimy Lawyer, which is the role Rudy was made to play. All right. So yeah, Jess, whenever you're ready, let's do it.
Robocop, The Future of Law Enforcement by Edward Neumeier and Michael Miner. Detroit, the future. New technologies have left Detroit behind. In the wake of this changing economy has come poverty, social decay, and crime. This is a story about a cop named Murphy. Exterior Detroit skyline, night, going down fast, past 4 monolithic skyscrapers that rise above this crumbling industrial city, down into the streets of Old Detroit, a turbo cruiser. Stubby police cars built over twin turbines, rolls through the bad part of town at 3 a.m. Now, the backup car appears, 2 blocks behind the lead car. Spotlights play across alleys, storefronts, a crumbling Moon Corp billboard that promises, I think that's 8.6 tax credit on 20-year family contracts. Interior backup turbo cruiser, Unit 217. 2 cops, Fredrickson and Connors, monitor an impressive array of electronics. Readouts pump cop information. These guys are dressed for heavy urban crime. Padded bodysuits, high-impact plastic chest armor, sleek helmets. Up ahead, the lead car's brake lights flare. Exterior gutted storefronts. A shadow moves along a wall. These cops work together every night.
Got a rabbit running east on Hoover. Check it out. Roger. Chicken shit. Sir. Over. Relax, pal. We got you on the grid.
The lead car takes off, turning a corner. Interior Turbo Cruiser 217. Connors watches the point car turn the corner on his center position hunter map. The cars appear as glowing red dots on a moving city grid. Fredrickson drives.
You see anything, Alcott?
Yeah, it's a woman.
Connors looks at Fredrickson. Interior lead Turbo Cruiser Unit 143. Alcott and Duffy are sharing a private joke. Duffy chokes back laughter.
Jesus, pinch me, Duffy. Am I crazy or is she stark raving naked?
She's holding a sign. It says, free blowjobs.
Turbo Cruiser 217. Fredrickson and Connors are skeptical now.
Oh my God, Fredrickson, it's your wife.
Alcott and Duffy's laughter comes over the comm link. Connors giggles and Fredrickson rolls his eyes. The laughter stops abruptly in a shout of terrible surprise and a rush of static. On the compu map, the red dot that was Unit 143 bursts suddenly, covering the screen and filling the cockpit with red light. Red light. Connors looks at Fredrickson. Fredrickson hits the gas. Exterior streets, Turbo Cruiser 217 blasts around the corner, lights blazing and sirens yelping, then comes to a sudden stop. In Turbo Cruiser 217, Fredrickson and Connors are frightened by what they see. Connors unsnaps the riot gun from the dash. Up ahead, Turbo Cruiser 143 burns and belches black smoke. The armored bodies of Duffy and Alcott spill into the street.
Unit 217 requesting backup and medevac. Officers down.
Unit 217, all available units presently engaged. Proceed as primary contact unit. Medevac request acknowledged.
Come on, I'll cover you.
Turbo Cruiser 143, the cops get out of the car. Fredrickson heads for the burning car. Connors moves to the middle of the street, turning in slow circles, checking doorways and windows and rooftops with the bayonet-mounted flashlight on his riot gun. Fire reflects in Fredrickson's visor as he leans down close to Duffy. It's clear now that Duffy is a woman.
Duffy?
Dead.
Fredrickson moves quickly to Alcott. He's still alive, but in convulsive shock, shot through the chest. He's not going to make it. Connors moves in tighter circles, faster, getting nervous.
Come on, man. Let's get the hell out of here.
Ka-chunk. Connors pivots, leveling his riot gun. A 5 shotgun barrage cuts him down. Fredrickson comes up shooting. Muzzle flashes illuminate dark shapes that close in on him. He's hit in the leg, but he stumbles to the turbo cruiser and drags himself inside. Turbo Cruiser 217, Fredrickson fires the turbines as he closes the door. Monitors and readouts respond. He slams into drive and looks up. The windshield explodes into shards. Exterior street, follow expensive black boots that walk past Connor's body, past a gang member, Emil, who shakes a spray paint can, past another gang member, Leon, who puts a gun to Alcott's head and stops his convulsions. Clarence Bodiger walks past the smoldering wreckage of Turbo Cruiser 143. He's a tough guy with glasses, very smart, very mean. Interior Turbo Cruiser 217. Clarence leans in. Fredrickson is spaced out, blinking. Clarence smiles. He has charm.
How you feeling?
Fredrickson turns slowly to look at Clarence. The right half of his face is badly burned.
Go back and give your cop friends a message. Stay out of old Detroit.
Clarence shoves the car into drive with the muzzle of his autoload. Fredrickson struggles to steer. The car moves away slowly, drunkenly, leaving behind Clarence and his gang. Clarence shoulders his autoload. Emil, the youngest, sprays huge numbers of dead cops, 29, 30, 31. Joe snaps his fingers and Steve lights a Camel. Bobby picks up Connor's riot gun and tosses it to Dougie. A police car burns behind them. Interior Turbo Cruiser 217. Fredrickson is terrified. He's dying and he knows it.
Officer needs assistance. Sector GK2. Officer needs assistance in Old Detroit. Oh, Jesus. I'm fucked up.
Fade to black. Media break. High energy news music over slick montage of modern Detroit featuring the cheerful faces of co-anchors Jess Perkins and Casey Wong. The hyper upbeat narrator says, "This is media break. You give us 3 minutes and we'll give you the world." Jess Perkins and Casey Wong. Jess, 33, is cool, blonde, very poised, and all business. Casey, 38, Eurasian, suit and tie, flat top haircut, and lots of teeth, stares straight at us with a fixed look of concern.
Good morning. I'm Casey Wong with Jess Perkins, and these are today's top stories. Pretoria, the threat of nuclear confrontation in South Africa escalated today when the white military government of that besieged state unveiled French-made neutron bomb and affirmed its willingness to use 3-megaton device as the city's last line of defense.
Ron Miller's angry face. He's mobbed by reporters as he leaves his office at City Hall. 2 aides follow carrying boxes. Ron Miller called it quits today, relinquishing his city council seat after being denied a recount in one of the closest elections in this city's history. Tight on Casey Wong. Understated concern, just the facts. Behind him, mini-cam footage of last night's massacre in Old Detroit. 3 cop graphics marked out by large red X's.
The police death toll in the Old District rose to 31 today when 3 officers were killed and 1 critically injured in an exchange of gunfire just before dawn. Jess?
Jess Perkins smiling in reference to a live-action clip framed behind her. 3 Dome kids pound out digital R&B on sleek guitars and keyboards. Behind them, the lunar sea shines through thick glass windows. The camera work is amateur. And of course, it's the story of the enterprising lunar teens who started their own TV station.
Uh-oh, sounds like a competition. We'll be back.
Commercial 1. The curves of a woman become the curves of a car. It's back. We're moving around an enormous, sleek sedan. Dual exhaust, mirror paint. Big is back. The woman's reflection walks through the lines of the car, and as we follow her around the front of the car, we are suddenly sucked into the giant shark maw air intake. And it's got turbine power. It's the roar of blue flames. Her animated lips beckon. 6,000 something, an American tradition. Commercial 2. A smarmy doctor shows us around his high-tech clinics. Is it time for that big operation? This may be the most important decision of your life. Come down and talk to one of our qualified surgeons at the House of Hearts. We have a complete line of Jarvix and limited supplies of the new Jensen Sports Heart. 3-year warranty, complete financing, qualifies for a health tax credit. Remember, we care. Casey Wong, serious now, in depth.
3 dead police officers, 1 critically injured. Police union leaders blame Omni Consumer Products, the firm which recently entered into a contract with the city to fund and run the Detroit Metropolitan Police Department. Dick Jones, division president of Omnicon.
Dick Jones behind his desk, 55, handsome, a sleek silver fox, very confident.
Every policeman knows the risks he faces in the field. Ask a cop and he'll tell you. You can't stand the heat? Better get out of the kitchen.
Video breakup. Exterior Old Detroit precinct day, following a man with an athletic bag as he walks past bullet-riddled turbo cruisers where cops unload mangy suspects from a PTV, prisoner transport vehicle. He uses a card key to open a door marked police only. Interior precinct, booking desk chaos. Lots of cops standing at booking terminals. Wounded cops and suspects alike, families, lawyers, and bail bondsmen crowd the guy in charge, Sergeant Reed, 50, very gruff, built like a tank.
Attempted murder. It's not like he killed someone. This is clearly a violation of my client's civil rights.
You may get aggravated assault and I can make bail in cash now.
Listen, pal, your client's a scumbag. You're a scumbag, and a scumbag talked to the judge on Monday morning. Now, get out of my police station and take Laughing Boy here with you.
The man, Murphy, pushes his way through the crowded room and steps up to Reed's bench and drops his badge in front of Reed.
I'm Murphy, transferring in from Metro South.
Nice. President, we work for a living down here, Murphy. Get your armor and suit up.
Interior precinct locker room, moving past lots of loose locker doors slamming as cops of both sexes change in and out of uniform. 3 wall-mounted TVs pump out information. This precinct was built in the late 70s, and it's falling apart now. Starkweather, nearly naked but wearing his helmet, monitors the department comlink.
Any word about Fredrickson?
Ever still listening was critical.
His wife must be going out of her mind.
He moves to Murphy's locker. Murphy suits up, climbing into a standard-issued padded bodysuit with 2 patches on each shoulder, DPD and OCP.
So, what brings you to this little paradise?
You got me, man. DCP is moving a lot of guys around the department.
Omni Consumer Products. What a bunch of morons. They're going to manage this department right into the ground.
Yeah, they got 10 guys loose over on the east side.
Try to get back up when you're in a jam.
They try to find a medevac after you've been jammed.
Sergeant Reed and a clerk with a box enter and head towards Fredrickson's locker. Everyone notices except Kaplan.
I'll tell you what we should do. We should strike. Fuck them.
Kaplan shuts up as Reed shoulders past him to Fredrickson's locker. He slides nameplate off and tosses it in the box. Now he opens it and the clerk begins to clean it out.
The funeral will be tomorrow. The department asks all officers not on duty to attend. Donations for his family may be given to Cecil as usual.
Cecil the clerk looks up from his box and squints at all the angry cops. Reed turns to Kaplan, glaring, then moving on.
And I don't want to hear any more of this strike talk. We ain't plumbers. We're police officers. And police officers don't strike. Murphy, front and center.
Murphy holsters his 9mm service automatic, slings his helmet, and slams his locker door. Interior precinct booking desk, a dust's head, goes berserk suddenly. A little cop, Lewis, grabs him. The prisoner lashes out with manacled hands. Lewis goes down hard, gets back up, and systematically beats the hell out of the guy.
Lewis, come here. When you're done fucking with your suspect.
The prisoner drops to the ground, unconscious. Lewis heads for the booking desk. Reed climbs into his elevated chair. Below him, Murphy stands.
This guy's going to be your new partner. Murphy, meet Lewis. Show him the neighborhood.
Lewis pulls off her helmet. She's got a strong, pretty face. Her eyes are very clear. She shakes Murphy's hand.
Glad to know you, Murphy.
Interior police parking garage. Cops jump into their turbo cruisers and fire their twin turbines. Lewis, chewing gum, all business, leads the way to their car. She opens the door.
I better drive until you know your way around.
I always drive when I'm breaking in a new partner.
He gets in, smiles big as he pulls the door shut, and fires the engine. Lewis walks to the other side of the car, scowling. Murphy hits the gas. Interior turbo cruisers speeding toward two turbo cruisers that idle at the mouth of the exit ramp. Cops from the night shift swapping war stories with cops from the day shift. Murphy accelerates, blasting between the two cars and up the ramps. He looks over at Lewis to see how she's taken it. She blows a bubble and breaks it. Exterior precinct, the turbo cruiser leaps onto the street and races away from the gleaming city skyline. The OCP tower rises 151 glass and steel stories above the city. This is the corporate headquarters of Omni Consumer Products. Interior CMI tower glass elevator. Muzak, young professional overture. Meet three young executives as they step into the elevator. Morton, 28, a hyper-aggressive snurd. Oh. Johnson, 43, black glasses, a middle management lifer, and Kinney, 26, trying hard but ultimately the wrong man in the wrong place. The doors nearly snap shut on Kinney as he gets in. He grins.
You really think the old man's gonna be there? Why would they invite us?
All the divisions heads are bringing their support teams. It's big. I figure they're green lighting Delta City.
You kidding? They never do anything ahead of schedule. It's Jones. He's got the 209 series online, and now he wants to show off.
Oh, that's a tough break, Bob.
What?
Interior OCP tower display lobby. The elevator doors open and the three executives walk fast down the hall, joining other executives on their way to the big meeting. Pictures on the wall show the many and varied divisions and subsidiaries of Omni Consumer Products, travel concepts, community concepts, entertainment concepts, security concepts. The products and degree of specialization are endless. Johnson lowers his voice now because there are other people around.
When ED 209 ran into serious delays and cost overruns, the old man ordered a backup plan. Probably just to light a fire under Jones's ass. Old Bob here gets the assignment, but no one in security concepts takes it seriously. Unfortunately, Bob does.
It's a better plan. Fucking Jones. I'd go straight to the old man if I could.
Don't mess with Jones, man. He'll make sushi out of you.
Yeah. Better be careful. I hear he's a real shark.
They reach the big double doors marked boardroom. Morton holds the door and takes it all out on Kinney.
Who the fuck asked you, twerp?
Bob!
Interior OCP tower, boardroom. Morton, Johnson, and Kinney take seats along the wall. The long boardroom table is reserved for brass. Above the table, a rack of monitors broadcast the CMI logo silently. Dominating the table is a delicate model city of bridges, spires, and gardens. If it were real, you'd want to go there. At the head of the table, the old man, a corporate king, benevolent now because he's unapproachable, and Dick Jones confer quietly.
Oh, that gives up some time. What about this police thing? What seems to be the problem?
The union's been bitching ever since we took over. Now they say it's a media issue and they're throwing their weight around. You know, the usual crap. Look, I'm confident we'll turn things around in the next phase of the takeover.
Good. Very good. Okay, let's get started. I've had a dream for more than a decade now, and I've asked you all to share it with me. In 6 months, we begin construction of Delta City, where Old Detroit now stands. I grew up in Old Detroit as a child. I played its streets. Those same streets have become a breeding ground for crimes and social decay. Before we employ the 2 million workers that will breathe life in the city again, we must pacify Old Detroit. Although shifts in the tax structure have created an economy ideal for corporate growth, community service, in this case law enforcement, have suffered. I think it's time we give something back. Dick?
Jones. As he stands, the monitors above him roll a slick montage.
Take a look at the company's track record of this company, and you'll see that we have gambled in markets traditionally regarded as non-profit. Hospitals, prisons, space exploration. I say good business is where you find it. As you know, we have entered into a contract with the city to run local law enforcement. But at Security Concepts, we believe an efficient police force is only part of the solution.
The information on the monitors above him suggests a corporation with the scope and influence of an emerging Western nation. Jones is putting on a good show.
No, we need something more. We need a 24-hour-a-day police officer, a cop who doesn't need to eat or sleep, a cop with superior firepower and the reflexes to use it.
He pauses at the boardroom's huge double doors.
Fellow executives, it gives me great pleasure to introduce you to the future of law enforcement, the Ed 209.
The doors open as ED-209, a robotic 7-foot headless hunchback with arms that end in cannon muzzles. Executives ooh and ah this fancy piece of technology. Morton can hardly contain his disgust. The robot steps into the room flanked by a scientist, Dr. McNamara, and several technicians with a rolling test chart.
The enforcement droid, Series 209, is a self-sufficient urban law enforcement robot. 209 is currently programmed for urban pacification, but that's only the beginning. After a successful tour of duty in old Detroit, we can expect 209 to become the hot military product for the next decade. Dr. McNamara?
McNamara nods to the technicians who huddle briefly over the test cart. GIQ, 10 over, okay, A-okay, and break to make final adjustments. 209 flexes its robotic limbs, assuming control.
We'll need an arrest subject.
Mr. Kinney, would you come over here and give us a hand?
Yes, sir.
Jones opens a sleek black case. Inside is a chrome SC 357 Magnum. Kinney takes the gun, examines it, and looks at ED-209. He's having second thoughts, and Jones makes the most of it.
Mr. Kinney, will you help us? You're going to help us simulate a typical arrest and disarming procedure. Mr. Kinney, use your gun in a threatening manner. Point it at the Ed 209.
Kinney draws a tentative bead on ED-209. The robot reacts with surprising speed, pivoting to face the threat.
Please put down your weapon. You have 20 seconds to comply. Your civil rights are currently in effect. You now have 15 seconds to comply.
Kinney is ready to piss his pants. Several executives, including Jones, chuckle at his discomfort.
I think you better do what he says, Mr. Kinney.
Kinney drops the gun and it thumps into deep piled carpet.
Cannot afford an attorney. One will be appointed for you.
McNamara shares an anxious look with his head technician. They both head for the test cart.
You now have 5 seconds to comply.
Suddenly, a burst of sparks and a sharp pop emanates from ED-209's shoulder joint. Jones is suddenly concerned. Morton notices. Something is very wrong here. Kinney tries to get out of the way.
3, 2.
One of ED-209's deadly arms cocks into firing position and sweeps the room, tracking Kinney's awkward retreat. Executives gasp and duck.
1. You are in direct violation of Penal Code 113, Section 9. I am now authorized to use necessary physical force.
ED-209 fires an extended burst, catapulting Kinney across the boardroom table where he lands on the fragile model of Delta City and reduces it to rubble. Pandemonium. Technicians scramble to shut ED-209 down. He turns on them, issuing warnings. Someone's on the phone screaming, "Hello, medical concepts, get a paramedic team to the 151st floor right now." Executives shriek. Blood runs in the tiny streets of Delta City.
Dick, I'm very disappointed.
I'm sure it's only a glitch, a temporary setback.
He didn't hear the gun drop.
You call this a glitch. We're not scheduled to begin construction in 6 months. This temporary setback could cost us $50 million in an interest payment alone.
Morton sees his chance and grabs it.
Not necessarily, sir. Perhaps you're aware of the Robocop program that was developed by myself at Security Concepts at the contingency for just this sort of situation.
Thank you for your concern, Mr. Morton. I'm sure this is something we can take up in my office in a more appropriate time.
Now, wait a minute, Dick. Maybe what we need here is a fresh perspective. Tell me about this plan of yours. Morton, how long will it take?
We're ready to go, sir. We restructured the department and placed prime candidates according to risk factor. With the prevailing conditions in Old Detroit, I'm confident we can produce an effective prototype in 90 days.
Good. Very good. Get your staff together, Morton. I expect a full presentation in 20 minutes.
The old man leaves. Jones lights a cigarette, glaring at young Morton. Paramedics explode into the boardroom and go to work on Kinney. Interior OCP tower, glass elevator. Morton and Johnson ride down in the elevator. Morton is elated, almost dancing, a sort of touchdown shuffle.
That's how it's done in the big leagues, Johnson. See an opening, you go for it.
Better watch your back, Bob. Jones is going to come gunning for you.
Fuck Jones. He fumbled the ball, and I was there to pick it up.
Too bad about Kenny.
Life in the big city.
They fall silent. Muzak, Young Professional Victory March.
When do we start?
As soon as some poor schmuck volunteers.
Exterior Old Detroit burger stand, night. Burned out buildings line the street. The turbo cruiser is parked at the curb. Murphy leans on the hood, listening to cop chatter on the comlink and practicing a gun trick. At the counter, Lewis pays for coffee with a credit card. She walks back to the car and sets the coffee on the hood. Murphy flips his gun and guides it into his holster. He does it again.
Pretty fancy moves, Murphy.
My kid watches this cop show, TJ Laser. This laser guy does that every time he takes down a bad guy.
And you didn't want to disappoint him.
Role models can be very important to a kid.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I get a kick out of it.
Lewis laughs a little, chugs coffee. A beep tone sounds. Interior turbo cruiser. The dash comes to life. Information moves across the VU screen. The ETAC sorts through grid maps at high speed. All units in the vicinity, 211 in progress, grid plate 107, subsector 16, white panel van.
That's us.
Exterior, Murphy and Lewis toss their coffee and head for the car. When Murphy reaches the driver's side, Lewis is already sitting there. She smiles and pulls the door shut. Interior turbo cruiser, Murphy settles into the passenger seat and gives her a look. Lewis hits the gas, pretending not to notice.
Central Unit 154 responding.
We copy 154. Suspects are armed and considered extremely dangerous. Use of high explosives in connection with robbery of... Interior white panel van, Clarence and the gang. The van is crowded with men, weapons, and charred sacks of money. Adrenaline is pumping.
You burnt the fucking money.
Let it blow to full. What do you want?
It's as good as marked, you asshole.
He throws a handful of charred bills in Bobby's face. Emil, the wheelman, checks his rearview mirror.
Clarence, we got a cop on our tail.
Interior turbo cruiser, closing fast on the van. Dark streets howl by. Lewis hits switches and suddenly the turbo cruiser strobes to life with lights and siren.
Central, we are in pursuit of possible 211 suspects. Request backup.
Interior white panel van. Everyone looks scared. Clarence crams gum in his mouth, chewing furiously.
This crate ain't gonna outrun twin turbines.
You better slow down then.
What are you, crazy, man?
Shut the fuck up and just do it, man. Bobby, get the door.
Exterior turbo cruiser closes on the van fast. Murphy has his gun out. Everyone has a shotgun pointed at the rear doors of the van. Bobby sits ready to kick the rear doors open.
Now.
Bobby kicks the doors open and everyone fires at once, but there's no turbo cruiser, only empty street. Clarence's men are confused. Leon turns on Emil.
What the fuck?
He's there, man.
And the turbo cruiser swerves in from the left side. Lewis swerves across the road and Murphy fires into the van. Bobby is hit in the leg. Joe and Steve fire their auto loads wildly. Lewis makes another pass from the right and Murphy's bullets slam into the van and ricochet. Bobby screams and screams.
Ah, shit, my leg! Oh, God!
Shut up, Bobby. I'm trying to think.
Oh, God, Clarence, my leg!
All right, Leon, Joe, lift him. Can you fly, Bobby?
Interior turbo cruiser up ahead. The van swerves back and forth, trying to shake Lewis. Murphy reloads. Lewis sees something coming too late. Exterior street. Bobby is tossed, kicking and screaming from the back of the van. His body hits the hood of the turbo cruiser and smashes into the windshield, sticking there, blocking any view of the road. Lewis fights the wheel as the turbo cruiser jumps the curb and mows down a row of parking meters. The white van makes a quick turn and disappears. Bobby, unconscious or dead, hangs hideously in the windshield. Murphy pushes him out and off the car. Lewis slams into reverse, brakes, and takes off again.
Central, we are in pursuit of the suspect vehicle. Shots fired. Suspect has been injured. Request medevac. Code 3. 9th and Century. Priority request backup. Repeat Central. We are in pursuit. I've got a heat track. They're heading west over the Webster Street Bridge. Want to know a shortcut? Turn right on 19th.
Yeah, how do you know?
I grew up around here. It used to be a nice place.
Exterior streets, the turbo cruiser roars away full throttle and takes a hard right turn. Exterior warehouse, a full moon hangs over the white van, doors open and empty. The turbo cruiser pulls up silently to the side of the warehouse. Interior turbo cruiser, Murphy punches in on the keyboard. The view screen tells him all units presently engaged. ETA 20 minutes. Murphy and Lewis look at each other. Exterior warehouse, Murphy and Lewis get out of the car.
You call it.
Lewis shoves a stick of gum in her mouth.
Let's do it.
Murphy points to the front entrance. Lewis nods. Chewing gum indicates a stairway leading to the second story.
Stay in touch.
He stands for a moment in the white light of the moon, and then he's gone. Lewis heads up the stairs that climb the side of the building. Interior warehouse, moving fast with Murphy as he ducks between stacks of cargo containers that form a labyrinth across the vast warehouse space. He hears voices and moves towards them. Interior warehouse, Lewis moves quietly past towering stacks of crates. She hears a door open and flattens herself against the wall. Someone unzips and starts to pee. It streams around the corner. Interior warehouse, Murphy on the move across the warehouse floor. He stops, listening. Someone's watching TV. He moves quietly, getting closer. He peers around a corner and sees Dougie and Emil sitting on a dilapidated furniture, watching TV. Emil lights a Panama Super cigarette.
You know, those things will kill you.
Yeah. You want to live forever?
Murphy retreats, working his way around the other side. Interior warehouse, Joe is taking a leak next to the freight elevator, and Lewis puts a gun to his head.
Freeze.
Joe looks down. This is embarrassing.
Okay, let's see those hands. Nice and easy.
Sure, baby. Nice and easy.
A blackjack drops into Joe's empty hand. He faces Lewis.
You mind if I zip this thing up?
Lewis looks down for a split second, and Joe belts her in the face and knocks her out into the open freight elevator shaft. Joe dives for his autoload. Interior elevator shaft. Lewis lands hard in puddles of cold water and grease, blood on her jaw, out cold. Joe stands over the open shaft, zipping his fly. He shrugs, grabs his shotgun, and heads off. Interior warehouse. Murphy steps up behind Emil and Dougie.
Drop 'em, boys.
Dougie grabs for his shotgun and Murphy fires. The bullet goes through Dougie and takes out the TV. Emil looks at his own gun uncertainly.
Make it pissy, Creek. Dead or alive, you're coming with me.
Emil drops his autoload. Murphy kicks it away and comes up with a pair of handcuffs, nervous about the shot he fired.
Lewis, I got a situation here, girl. It's getting heavy time. Okay, tough guy. Another routine, hands on your head.
Interior elevator shaft. Lewis comes to. She moves stiffly. Everything hurts. Interior warehouse. Murphy moves to cuff Emil. Suddenly, he hears the action of an autoload. Ka-chunk. He looks up. Chan covers him from above. Leon moves in from the side.
Why did you let us take it from here, Mel? Drop the gun, cop.
Murphy sets his jaw as Leon puts the barrel of the autoload against his neck. He lets his Mateba fall. Emil twists away.
Ass is mine.
Not yet, it ain't.
Interior elevator shaft. Lewis looks stunned. She makes a running leap, grabs at grease-encrusted cables, and starts to climb. She falls back hard, the cables tearing into her hands. Clarence steps into the light and saunters up to Murphy, shotgun tipped casually at his shoulder. He walks around Murphy, inspecting him.
You a good cop, Murphy? Sure, you gotta be some kind of great cop to come in here all by yourself.
Clarence clubs Murphy viciously behind the knees with his autoload, and Murphy hits the ground. Joe arrives out of breath as Clarence stuns Murphy with a blow to the face.
Where's your partner?
The other one was upstairs. I took her out.
Murphy on his knees. Clarence hovers above him.
I bet that really pisses you off. You probably don't think I'm a very nice guy.
Buddy, I think you're slime.
Clarence steps on Murphy's arm, playing to his gang.
See, I got this problem. Cops don't like me, so I don't much like cops.
He puts the blow to Murphy's wrist and pulls the trigger. Murphy's right hand is blown off. He gasps and grabs his wrist. He's never known so much pain. He struggles to stand. Interior elevator shaft. Lewis claws her way up the cable, inching upwards, sliding back, using all her strength. Murphy's ragged breathing comes to her over the comm link. Interior warehouse. Clarence turns to the gang, grins, shoulders his shotgun, and walks away as Murphy struggles to stand.
Now he's yours.
Emil blasts Murphy in the chest, knocking him across the warehouse floor. Joe and Chan move in, firing. Interior warehouse, ground floor. Lewis swings out of the elevator shaft and races into a towering maze created by stacked pallets of beer cans. Murphy. A blast spider webs his armor and another blows it away in shards. Steve fires at close range twice and blows Murphy's right arm off. Lewis runs, turning through the alleys of the labyrinth, desperate, frustrated, while shotguns boom in the distance. Murphy. His helmet is blown off the top of his head. Joe and Emil fire together, blasting Murphy's legs. He struggles to stand on his broken limbs. Murphy's POV. This is how things look when you're dying. The room is a blur. The face of the gang swirl in front of him, threatening, leering. Emil, Joe, Chan, Leon, Clarence. The gang looks at each other. The bloodlust is cooled. Joe shrugs.
I'm out of ammo.
Clarence steps forward, pulls a black Desert Eagle from his belt, aims, and blows off a piece of Murphy's head. Murphy goes down and stays down.
All right, let's split. This place is going to be crawling with cops.
Shit, that was a great hideout.
They melt away into the dark warehouse. Lewis running and running and running. She rounds a stack of cargo containers and stops short, grim, staring at Murphy sprawled in his own blood.
Murphy.
Outside, she hears the van screech away. Warehouse floor, huge stacks of containers dwarf Lewis as she kneels beside Murphy's body.
Officer down. Repeat, officer down. Central, I need a medevac code 3. My partner's been shot.
Your medevac priority. Help is on the way. Calm down, patrolman.
You calm down, asshole. Get me a medevac now or you're going to need one.
Exterior warehouse night. Police helicopter idles as two paramedics lift Murphy into a pod on the landing skid of the helicopter. His good arm falls limp. One paramedic straps the arm down as the other revs the helicopter. Jesus, I think this guy's still alive. He jumps in and the helicopter rises, banks, and roars away. Lewis stands all alone, looking small, oblivious of the prop wash that blows tears back across her face in streaks. Exterior medevac helicopter night. The helicopter soars over the river underneath a full moon. We hear the steady thup, thup, thup of the helicopter's blades. Close on Murphy. Through all the blood, his eyes flicker, darting wildly. His POV. The flashing lights of the medevac and the city below begin to bleed together. The thup, thup, thup of the helicopter becomes Murphy's heartbeat. It's slowing down. Heartbeat. We're hovering directly over Murphy's body on a gurney as a team of doctors and nurses race down a hospital corridor. They're working hard to save him. As we hit the OR doors, fade. Heartbeat. We're underwater. We break surface, fighting. Mom smiles down on us, reassuring. Keep your head above the water. You're going to be all right. Fade. Heartbeat. We're flailing and punching at a mean-looking kid, and he's giving it back. Other kids in the schoolyard egg us on. Come on, Murphy. Get him, Murphy. Fade. Heartbeat. A pretty girl, filled with youth and hope, runs and jumps into our arms and leans in to kiss us. Fade. Heartbeat. The pretty girl, 10 years older, our wife, stands with our son. Move away fast and fade. A straight green line against black. The scream of an EKG machine. I've got a straight line, a doctor yells. Crash cart, 10 cc's adrenaline, stand clear. Zap. Emil stands before us, leering. Fade. And again. Zap. Joe stands, grinning. Fade. Again. Zap. Chan smiles, placid. Fade. Clear. Zap. Leon takes his bow. Fade. Once more. Zap. Clarence smiles and bids us goodbye. Fade to black. That's it. He's gone. Then, okay, hook him up, patch him up, and I'll make the call. The voices fade. Silence. The electric pulse of an artificial heart begins. White static thunders through us. It sparkles and dances, almost alive. Now it fades, and a grid of green lines fills the screen and then snaps off. Color bars pop on. The colors change hue as the color balance is adjusted. Vertical hold goes out. Someone says, shit, and slams us down. Black. Snap. We're inside a complex laboratory. Technicians hover around us. The world goes from black and white to color. Are we locked in? A technician peers in. Snap. Black. Sound. Then click. We're on again. Technicians and scientists stand around. Morton gives us a cool paternal look. Johnson stands behind him.
We were able to save his left arm.
What? I thought we agreed on total body prosthesis. Lose the arm, okay? Can you understand what I'm saying?
It doesn't matter. We're gonna blink his memory anyway.
I think we should lose the arm. What do you think, Johnson?
He signed the release forms when he joined the force. Legally, he's dead. We can do pretty much what we want.
Lose the arm.
Okay. Shut him down and prep him for surgery.
Click. The lights go out.
Can you bring the system up for a minute? I gotta check something.
Snap. We're back in the lab again. Morton, Johnson, in 2 suits, marketing and legal, study us. A technician hovers over us with a complex mechanical arm. Thousands of shiny steel tendons wrap the limb. The table we're on elevates and turns as the technicians struggle to connect the arm.
Thanks. Can you move to the left? Keep going. Okay, hold it.
Attach neutral connectors G17, R1, A44.
Our
Watch his
studies have shown the importance of human recognition factor in the acceptance of authority.
We're getting into shaky territory here. It's not clear what the legal ramifications would be if a former
watch that? Okay.
associate were to recognize the
Mhm.
deceased.
You're right there.
Look, he's a law enforcement product. He should look like a tough son of a bitch.
Learn about the G series. It's a temporary batch. Arn, give me a DDQ 4 amps over.
The fingers of the mechanical hand open and close. Click. A blur of lines, targeting sites and data rip across the screen in all directions.
Come on, let's turn him on.
Snap. We're looking at the face of a drunk Roosevelt. She's holding a glass of champagne. Tyler and lots of technicians in various states of inebriation.
Happy New Year!
We turn our neck and take in the room.
He's looking at us.
Scientists and technicians raise their glasses and blow their noisemakers. The female scientist leans over and gives us a kiss. Click. We're out. Under a plastic shroud, sound on.
We get the best of both. We get the best of both worlds. The fastest reflexes modern technology has to offer, onboard computer system memory, and a lifetime of on-the-street law enforcement programming. I would like to present Robocop.
The shadow of a hand grabs the plastic shroud. RoboVision. We are unveiled. We step into a large room filled with OCP executives, scientists, and technicians. Data chugs up the screen as we analyze everything we see. A sudden burst of applause as we walk forward into the room. As we pass a mirror, we catch a glimpse of blue steel. Exterior precinct, night. A motorcade consisting of 3 white station wagons and an all-white semi pull up in front of the precinct. A small army of technicians exits the station wagons and heads for the semi. Now a dark sedan pulls up on the opposite side of the street. Morton and Johnson get out. Interior precinct, booking desk. Not much going on. A couple cops take witness reports at booking terminals. A family sits on a long bench waiting. A smart-ass prisoner bores Reed with his rap.
I'm what you call a repeat offender. Man, I repeat, I will offend again. You see, I get my orders from a higher source.
Shut up, asshole.
The front doors open and Morton walks in like he owns the place. Johnson and Dr. Roosevelt hurry to keep up. A sea of technicians surge in carrying boxes.
Holding cell on this floor that's set up for observation.
Yeah, looks perfect.
4 men edge through the door with a large piece of equipment resembling a chair.
Hey. What's this all about?
Who's this guy?
Sergeant John Reed.
Yeah, this is official OCP business, so please get lost. I figure we got 4 or 5 days set up after that.
Morton and Roosevelt exit. Johnson hangs back. Reed fumes for a second, then grabs the phone.
This is bullshit. I take my orders from cops.
He trails off, slack-jawed. The cops stop what they're doing. Everybody stares. What they see. 2 technicians hold the doors open and Robo steps through. He scans the room, taking in everything, then walks past. The cops are suspicious, impressed, curious. This is like no cop they've ever seen before. The prisoner is wide-eyed.
What is this shit?
Interior precinct corridor. 6 cops crowd a wire glass observation window looking in at the holding cell. Technicians help Robo into the chair. Interior holding cell. Banks of equipment surround the chair. Technicians monitor readouts and run tests. Robo leans back in his chair. Indicator lights go on above his head. Morton watches as Roosevelt, Tyler, and other scientists make adjustments.
Whenever you are at rest, you will sit in the chair, okay?
Yes, I understand.
RoboVision. Indicator graphics and information readouts pop on and off in reaction to what we see, but never completely obscure our vision. The ultimate heads-up display.
We can check his exact location at all times with one of these.
The CompuMap card. This is the shape of maps to come.
What does he eat?
His digestive tract is extremely simple. This processor dispenses a rudimentary paste that sustains his organic systems.
Morton presses a button on the processor unit. Brown paste pumps into a paper cup. He tries some.
Tastes like baby food.
Interior precinct firing line. A steady thunder rolls down the line as cops exercise their revolvers. Now above the steady thunder, gunshots louder and more distinctive than the others. Several cops stop shooting to investigate. Lewis fires double-handed with fierce concentration, scoring 87. She hears the gunshots now and turns as cops move past her down the line. Through a crowd of cops, Lewis pushes her way forward to get a better look. Cops talk low.
Hey, it's Super Cop.
What gun is that anyway?
Robo fires his huge Auto 9 surrounded by scientists and technicians wearing hearing protectors. Morton, smiling, has his fingers in his ears. Lewis pushes her way to the front as Robo drops one clip, loads another, and resumes firing with military precision.
Shit, this guy's really good.
Not a guy, he's a machine.
What are they gonna do? Replace us?
No fucking way any machine's ever gonna replace me.
The silhouette target. Bullets pound through paper like machine gun fire and form a perfect circle in the head of a target. A similar 9-point circle already outlines the target's heart. Lewis and the other cops exchange glances, impressed. Robo reloads and fires, the clip falling at his armored feet along with expended shell casings. The silhouette target is shot ragged, falling apart as the alley fills with smoke. The digital readout above the target reads 100. Robo finishes firing, spins the A9 on his finger, and twirls it into his holster. Kaplan, Manson, and Starkweather watch, impressed. Manson looks at Kaplan, wagging his eyebrows. Kaplan spits. Lewis is stunned. She's seen this before, and she steps up to Robo as he passes, but he walks right past her. Interior precinct holding cell, RoboVision. Tyler, Roosevelt, and technicians hover around us with clipboards and checklists. Morton paces, excited.
Targeting grid.
Tyler points at objects with his pen. Command graphic, targeting. Lines vector and form a targeting grid wherever he points. A technician says, check.
Voice stress analyzer. 1, 2, 3.
Command graphic, voice stress analyzer. A complex analysis of Tyler's voices rendered. Check.
Record playback. Bring it up to half.
Command graphic, record. A small screen is defined in the upper right-hand corner. Now the image expands and fills half the screen. Tyler is saying, bring it up to half.
He's ready.
Great.
Morton bends down close and we see him in tandem on both screens.
Robocop, what are your directives, prime directives?
Command graphic, prime directives. They chug up the screen. Directive 1, serve the public trust. Directive 2, uphold the law. Directive 3, protect the innocent. Directive 4, classified. Robo in the chair recites for Morton.
Serve the public trust, uphold the law, protect the innocent.
Very good.
Interior precinct booking desk. Reed and several other cops are writing out reports at terminals. Robo and Morton enter trailing technicians.
He needs a car.
Stoic, Reed tosses a set of keys to Morton. Robo snatches them in midair.
Thank you, Sergeant Reed.
Sure. Anytime.
Robo heads for the door.
Go get him, boy.
Exterior precinct, night. A shiny new turbo cruiser is parked out front. Robo gets in, fires the turbines, and roars off into the night. Exterior, the streets of old Detroit, night, music up. Hard driving, inner city cop music. The turbo cruiser races along empty streets. Interior turbo cruiser, Robo drives. Street lights flare across the visor of his helmet. RoboVision. The road ahead races toward infinity. On the dash, monitors flicker and burp cop talk. Our own internal readouts change and flash over all of this. Information and more information. Take it all in. Interior, mom and pop grocery store, night. A small neighborhood store. Mom runs the register. Pop chain smokes behind the counter in the liquor section and watches the immensely popular Bixby Snyder show on the overhead TV. A kid cruises the candy rack. When no one's looking, he slips a candy bar into his jacket pocket. The bell over the door rings. Ding! The hophead, a big mean guy with a serious drug habit, walks in. He's wearing a stained overcoat. He looks at magazines. Sweat pours off his face. He selects a particularly lurid skin magazine. Mom and Pop exchange a glance. The hophead heads for the register and throws the magazine on the counter. Mom smiles sweetly.
Will there be anything else?
Yeah. Empty the register and put the money in a bag.
Excuse me?
The hophead draws a machine gun from inside his overcoat and waves it in Mom's face. Pop is horrified.
Give me your money. All of it. And don't fuck around. Where's the safe, old man?
We don't have a safe.
Mom fills a plastic bag with money from the register. Mom's hand hits a concealed button inside the register drawer.
Open the safe, Pops, or I'm gonna blow Junior all over the candy rack.
The kid gulps hard as his eyes go wide.
Don't hurt the boy. I'll open the safe.
Pop is very nervous now. He can't make his old fingers work the combination on the store safe fast enough, and it makes the hophead crazy.
You're stalling, old man. You got the count of 3 to get the safe open. 1, 2.
He pulls the bolt back. The door flies open. Ding! It's Robo. The hophead looks a little startled. He's never seen a cop like this before. Instinctively, he trains the machine gun on Robo.
Drop it. You're under arrest.
Fuck you, cop.
The hophead fires 3 times. Bullets bounce off Robo's armor and hits things in the store. A freezer case, a bottle of ketchup, the overhead TV.
Fuck me.
Robo moves in on the hophead. The hophead fires again, point blank. Mom and Pop hit the floor as bottles of booze behind the counter are shattered by ricocheting bullets. Robo grabs the barrel of the machine gun and crushes it.
You're in a lot of trouble.
He uses the gun like a club and knocks the hophead across the store with incredible velocity, destroying displays and smashing him headfirst through a floor-to-ceiling freezer case door. The kid has found his hero.
Wow.
Prisoner transport will arrive shortly. Thank you for your cooperation. Good night, and have a pleasant evening.
The hophead's feet stick out through the shattered freezer case door and a mess of blood and ice and glass. The door, ding! Robo walks out. Mom and Pop and the kid watch him go. The kid takes a candy bar out of his pocket and puts it on the counter.
How much for this?
Interior turbo cruiser night. Robo drives along dangerous Tenderloin streets. People are out. Pimps, sex workers, junkies, and assorted lowlifes. A neon sign advertises girls, 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 and the reflection moves across Robo's visor. A call flashes across the VU screen. Robo hits switches. Sirens yelp and lights flash red and blue. Robo drives hard, jaw set. Somewhere there's a crime happening. Exterior, dark alley, night. A woman screams as she's grabbed by one of 2 creeps who are chasing her. She drops her purse and pulls away from the guy, and her dress rips across the front. She's a good-looking woman, but this isn't a nice way to see her. She turns and finds creep 2 waiting.
Hey, baby, take it easy. We don't want to hurt you.
Way too much hair here for me.
I know. First we'll give her a haircut.
Creep 2 snaps open his Maxims fighting knife and hacks at her hair. Tears of fear and humiliation spill down her face. She elbows Creep 1 and tries to kick Creep 2.
Baby, you're making me mad. Don't make me mad, baby.
A huge shadow falls across the creeps, and an extremely loud voice shatters the night.
Let the woman go. You're under arrest.
What they see, Robo walks towards them. The tilt compartment on his leg opens, and the Auto 9 slides into his tempered steel hand. RoboVision, command graphic, public address. Creep 2 grabs the woman around the neck and holds his knife under her chin. He doesn't see what we see. Command graphic, targeting, lines, vector, and search the woman's profile for a safe shot at Creep 2. There is none. The woman struggles, and Creep 2 lifts her off her feet. The targeting sights merge between the woman's legs and lock on Creep 2's newly exposed groin. Creep 2 is getting crazy.
Are you kidding me, man? I'll cut this bitch.
Robo fires. A bullet burns a hole through the woman's dress, and Creep 2 goes down screaming, holding himself, writhing on the ground with blood between his legs. The knife clatters to the ground in front of Creep 1. He looks for a way out.
Your move.
Creep 1 raises his hands. Robo cuffs one hand, jerks him around a street sign, and cuffs the other. The woman throws her arms around Robo, weeping. Robo stands rigid. RoboVision, command graphic, voice stress analyzer. Tears stream down the woman's face. Anger, relief, fear, all at once. Oh God. Oh God, I was so scared. How can I ever thank you enough, officer? Robo stands impassive, a soldier doing his duty.
You have suffered a severe emotional shock. It's important for you to be with people you trust, ma'am. I can notify a rape crisis center if you so desire.
Interior Trooper Cruiser Dawn. Robo drives through empty city streets as the sun comes up. He passes a huge sign advertising Delta City that promises the future has a silver lining. Exterior Old Detroit burger stand. Kaplan and Manson and 2 other cops hang out near their turbo cruisers, drinking coffee, waking up. Robo rolls by slowly to study the other cops. It makes them uncomfortable. Robo drives on by. Interior turbo cruiser Night. Robo drives on, searching, hunting. A beep tone sounds, and all units flashes across the VU screen. Calling all units, code 3 in progress at City Hall. Suspect is armed and has taken hostages. All units in the area, please respond.
1 Able 44 responding.
Exterior street, the turbo cruiser blasts away from us. Exterior City Hall, police line, night. Turbo cruisers and a SWAT van are parked in front of City Hall. Cops and SWAT team members take cover behind open car doors, guns drawn and pointed toward a 3rd-story window. Huge searchlights wash across the building. Spectators and reporters are kept behind the police line by Ramirez and Starkweather. Robo pulls up and gets out of his car. SWAT team commander Lieutenant Hedgecock and a police captain argue as Robo scopes out the problem.
My boys can contain the situation in 10 minutes. We go in with gas and plenty of firepower, and we've got a good chance of saving the mayor.
Look, he's already killed an aide, Hedgecock. You go in there with that kind of profile, you're going to have a bloodbath.
Yeah. Well, it's going to look pretty bad if this Joker smokes the mayor while we're just standing around worrying about what site happened.
Robo crosses behind them and heads for the building.
Keep him talking.
But
Machine gun fire erupts from the 3rd-story window, kicking up asphalt at Robo's feet. Robo draws his A9 as he reaches the front door. The captain looks at Hedgecock and then keys his megaphone. Interior City Hall. Robo heads for the stairwell, taking them 2 at a time. Outside, we hear the captain talking over the megaphone.
okay, Miller, don't hurt the mayor and we'll give you whatever you want.
First, don't fuck around with me. I'm a desperate man.
Okay.
Interior Mayor Gibson's office. Miller stands to one side of the window with a mini Uzi trained on his hostages. His business suit is dirty and rumpled. He hasn't slept in days, and one of his eyes twitches impulsively as he crams a Mars bar in his mouth. Candy wrappers and spent cartridges litter the floor. Mayor Gibson, black, 45, distinguished, and his aides are huddled together in a corner. The dead aide lies nearby, the wall behind him splattered with blood.
Second, I want some fresh coffee. Third, I want to recount, and no matter how it comes, I want my old job back. I want to make a bigger office, and I want a new car, and I want the city to pay for it all.
What kind of car, Miller?
Interior hallway. Robo turns a corner and walks past a heavy wooden door with a sign over it that reads Mayor. RoboVision. Command graphic. Thermograph. Vague outlines of Miller and his hostages, but nothing clear as we move past the door.
I want something with recycling leather, seats that goes real fast and gets really shitty gas mileage.
How about a 6000 SUX?
Interior, the office next to the mayor's, Robo enters and surveys the room. Miller can be heard quite clearly now next door. Robo holsters his gun and runs his hand along the wall.
I also want the city to pay for all my gas, turnips, got it?
No problem, Miller. Just let the mayor go and we'll throw in a Blaupunk, cruise control, white wall tires, video games. Look, whatever you want, buddy.
Interior, Mayor Gibson's office. Miller doesn't like the sound of this.
Hey, don't jerk me off, Captain. People jerk off. I kill them. Want to see?
He pulls Gibson to the open window and puts the barrel of his minigun to the mayor's temple. RoboVision, command code thermograph, much clearer now. We see the computer-enhanced outline of Miller and the mayor at the window. Miller becomes even clearer as he steps back closer to the wall.
Nobody ever takes me seriously. We'll get serious now.
Interior, Mayor Gibson's office. Miller backs away from Gibson, pushing his head firmly against the windowsill with the gun, prone for execution.
And kiss the mayor's ass. Goodbye.
Robo's right arm punches through the wall and grabs Miller in a chokehold. Miller fires wildly. The mayor and his aides hit the deck as bullets tear up the room. Robo's left arm punches through now and pulls Miller, kicking and screaming and shooting through the wall. Interior, the office next to the mayor's, Robo pulls Miller and part of the wall into the room. Miller brings up the Uzi in a shower of plaster and lathe, still firing. Robo punches him once, very hard. Exterior, City Hall, a correspondent sees something and signals to his cameraman. The cameraman drops to one knee, rolling tape. Media break. Jess Perkins, superimposed over handheld footage of Miller's body exploding out of the third floor window and hitting the ground. Police scramble forward. It started a week ago with the heroic rescue of Mayor Gibson and 3 of his aides by a lone police officer, his identity a well-kept secret. A press conference, lots of reporters, lots of TV cameras, lots of questions. On the dais, Robo, Morton, Johnson, and other executives. Johnson is speaking, pointing first to Robo and then to Morton. Morton basks in the attention. Wednesday, OCP puts an end to speculation when it unveiled an experimental crime management program. Its name, Robocop. Today, kids at Aikaka Elementary School got to meet in person what their parents only read about in comic books. A schoolyard, Robo walking, surrounded by excited kids and reporters. An OCP media support team brings up the rear. Suddenly, a microphone is thrust at Robo.
Excuse me, Robo, any special message for all the kids watching at home?
Stay out of trouble.
Casey Wong is concerned, superimposed over. Helicopters unload troops at a resort hotel. Lots of dust, gunfire, and prop wash withered palm trees.
More fighting in the Mexican crisis today when American troops participated in a joint raid with Mexican nationalists against rebel rocket positions in Cancun.
Commercial 3, a network logo dazzles us. A slick, energetic narrator says, "Tonight on It's Not My Problem." Two beauties with monster boobies knead dough behind the counter of a topless pizza bar. Comic Bixby Snyder leans into frame, complete with bow tie. I'd buy that for $1. Massive canned laughter. It's Bixby Snyder tonight at 8. Be there. Commercial 4. A family plays an elaborate board game. The daughter picks a card and accuses, "You crossed my line of death." The mother looks across at her pipe-smoking husband, charging, "You haven't dismantled your MX stockpile." A tense standoff, everybody watching everybody, until the son hits his red fire button. A holographic nuclear explosion and mushrooms in the middle of the board. Everyone falls back laughing. Nuke 'em, get 'em before they get you. Another quality home game from the Butler brothers. Casey Wong over Delta City Graphic.
Still no official start date for OCP's Delta City project. Labor leaders have refused to sanction construction until OCP can guarantee the personal safety of workers in Old Detroit. Robert Morton, Vice President in charge of Robocop program.
Interior Morton's office, day. The new Morton, new hairstyle, new clothes, new glasses, talks with the confidence that comes with success.
Well, I can't comment on Delta City. That's not my division. One day it might be, but at At Security Concepts, we're projecting the end of crime, old Detroit, within 40 days. There's a new guy in town, and his name is Robocop.
Morton smiles, charming, self-assured. Betacam viewfinder pull out as Morton stands and the news crew begins to break down their gear.
Gotta go. Thanks, gentlemen.
Interior, CMI Tower, corridor, day. Muzak, American Patrol. Morton walks down the hall. People say hello, and he nods. Another executive, Walker, falls in with him.
Hey, Bobby boy, Vice President, congratulations. Handball Tuesday night?
Love to, Bill, but I got a date. A couple models coming over to my place.
I'd buy that for $1.
They stop at the door marked executive washroom. Both pull out gold card keys and laugh. God, it's great to be young and upwardly mobile. Walker opens the door.
Welcome to the club, Bob.
Interior executive washroom. Miles of tile and beveled glass. Signs point the way to the jacuzzi. Oh, the jacuzzi, the gym, the sauna, and everything else you need to combat stress and fatigue here at the top. 2 executives are at the sinks. A third is taking a piss. Morton and Walker unzip in tandem and join him.
Oh, you're making a real name for yourself in Security Concepts with Robocop. Let me in on the bottom line, pal. I hear Jones was plenty pissed.
The other executives look up, interested.
You know, he's got this killer rep, but it's a smokescreen. Let's face it, he's lost his teeth. He's a pussy.
Are we talking about the same Dick Jones?
Hey, he's old. We're young. That's life.
The 2 executives at the sink exchange looks and head for the door where they are joined by the third executive who is still zipping up. Morton and Walker notice.
Hey.
A stall door opens. Dick Jones walks to the sink and begins to wash his hands. With painful determination, Walker exercises samurai control over his body and stops peeing.
Jeez, I got a sub-meeting. I gotta go.
He turns, zipping up, a stain spreading near his crotch as he rushes away. Morton cringes as Jones walks up behind him and literally breathes down his neck.
Congratulations, Bob.
Thanks.
You know, I remember when I was a young executive for this company. I used to call the old man funny names. Iron Butt, Boner. Once I even called him Asshole.
Morton zips up, pushes past Jones, and heads for the sink. See panic in his face when he looks in the mirror.
But there was always respect. I always knew where the line was drawn. You just stepped over it, buddy boy. You insulted me and you insulted this company with that bastard creation of yours. I had guaranteed military sale at the Ed 209, renovation program, spare parts for 25 years. Who cares if it worked or not?
The old man thought it was pretty important, Dick.
Sweet old man. Well, but he's not going to live forever. And I'm number 2 around here. Pretty simple math, huh? You just fucked with the wrong guy. Better hope that unholy creation of yours doesn't screw up.
Jones leaves. In the mirror, Morton in the mirror as the door slams behind Jones. White static pulsates with color, a gentle rush of voice and musical tones. Suddenly, a dark image cracks the light, and just as quickly, it is gone. Very close on Robo, asleep in the chair. He grimaces. Interior observation room, night. 2 technicians eating and talking. Telemetry units pump out reams of graph paper. Through a window, Robo sleeps in his chair.
I thought we'd go to Acapulco, but the rebels blew up the airport again. Hey, what was that?
God damn monitors.
Move inside Robo, jaw tight, sweating. The rush of voices grow louder. The white static is suddenly shattered by the dark image. Shadows with shotguns move in as they fire. Robo sits up with a start. Panels of indicator lights on the chair flicker in rapid succession. Interior observation room. Outside, Robo stands up. The technicians notice.
Hey, look, Bucket Boy's online.
Interior precinct hallway. Roosevelt leans against the wall, hitting on Foley, a pretty lady cop.
Sure, I'm a scientist, but I hit the gym 3 times a week.
The holding cell door flies open with force. Robo walks away from Way down the hall, Roosevelt checks his watch and bolts for the observation room door. Interior observation room. Roosevelt pushes past the two technicians and rifles through graph paper, comparing readouts. The technician knows they're in trouble.
When did this happen? What the hell is this?
Interior parking garage, night. Lewis and her new partner escort a handcuffed prisoner toward the double doors that enter the precinct. Robo steps through the door, heading out. Lewis watches him pass, then...
Carrie, book him and I'll catch up with you later. Thanks.
She heads after Robo. At the turbo cruiser, Robo opens the door. Lewis walks up, unsure. What do you say to this guy?
Hello. I haven't had the chance to introduce myself. I'm Ann Lewis.
Robo turns, stepping closer to Lewis. It makes her nervous. Robo vision. Lewis waits, but Robo isn't talking. He's analyzing. Data and grids crunch by.
Do you have a name?
Command graphic, working. Then command graphic, prime directives. Directive 1, protect and serve the public trust. Directive 2, uphold the law. Directive 3, classified. Robo, utterly silent, finally.
How can I help you, Officer Lewis?
Oh, gee, that's not really what I meant. Don't you have a name?
Robovision. We study Lewis's face, analyze it with all our systems as she leans in, questioning. Now she frowns.
Come on. Murphy? Is it you?
Robo steps back, cautious.
You really don't remember me, do you?
No. Excuse me. I have a job to do. Somewhere, there's a crime happening.
He slides into the car and fires it up. Lewis watches him drive away, confused and unsure. She turns as Roosevelt jogs up. He doesn't look happy.
What did you talk to him about, officer?
Interior precinct locker room. Morton races in with Reed. He's going to get to the bottom of this fast and take it out on Reed in the meantime.
Listen, I was assured full cooperation by this precinct, buddy. And if it gets screwed up by one of your grunts, I'm going to have your job.
Near the door, Tyler waits, worried, a sheaf of telemetry paper in her hands. Morton grabs some papers, makes a show of looking at them, but he probably doesn't understand them, and keeps going. Tyler falls in beside him.
Okay, guys, what's the update? We got a glitch or what?
Well, it's hard to be 100%, but the system was never designed to experience detailed somatic response.
And now they've reached Roosevelt, who stands glowering over Lewis. She is sullen, defensive, maybe a little pissed off.
Yeah, he had a dream. And then this cop saw fit to question him.
I didn't question him. I asked him what his name and he didn't know.
Oh, great. Let me make it real clear to you. He doesn't have a name. He's got a program. Clear?
Sure.
I say we pull him in, run a system check, the works.
Take about a week, maybe 10 days.
You want to take him offline because he had a dream? Are you kidding? Come on, let's get out of here. Listen, Reed, try and keep one thing in mind. This project doesn't concern cops. It's classified. It's OCP. Got it?
Got it.
Morton hustles away with Roosevelt and Tyler in tow.
We keep him on the streets. We maintain the schedule. I can't afford any downtime right now.
And they're gone.
Sorry, Sarge, I fucked up.
Forget it, kid. The guy's a serious asshole.
Exterior self-service. Or say that 5 times fast. Exterior self-service Shell gas station, night. A lonely place in the middle of the night near a freeway overpass lit by a huge electric sign spells out Shell. Someone's riding a battered gray motorcycle roars into the station. Attendant booth. The attendant, glasses and pimples, concentrates hard on his analytic geometry textbook. He looks up when he hears a tap, tap, tap on the booth's glass window. What he sees, Emil, Clarison's wheelman, stands there, leering, uses the barrel of his Mac 10 to get the attendant's attention.
Give me all your money, bookworm, or I'll blow your brains out.
The attendant empties the cash drawer into the slide drawer and shoves it towards Emil. Emil pockets the money with one hand and holds the gun on the attendant with the other.
Now fill it up on number 7.
The attendant nervously punches buttons with one hand. Emil backs towards his bike. The numbers on the pump go to 0. Emil pulls down a hose and inserts the nozzle into Emil's bike. The feed hose flexes as gas is delivered at high pressure.
Don't do nothing stupid, man. I'm a good shot. I could hit you in the eye from here.
Points the gun at the attendant's booth, grabs a cigarette out of the pack, and lights it with one hand. Interior turbo cruiser on the overpass. Robo looks down at the gas station, a well-lit oasis in the middle of a dark city. RoboVision, command graphic, night vision. A video-enhanced view of the gas station. A man stands near the pumps, pointing a gun at the booth. Exterior gas station. Emil continues to give the attendant a bad time.
Hey, man, what are you reading there? You a college boy or something? I bet you think you're real smart, huh? You think you can outsmart a bullet?
Robo's armored feet hit the pavement. He moves with quiet precision. Emil pulls on his cigarette, having a good time. He hears something and spins around to see Robocop standing there, his gun drawn.
All right, I'm gonna start recording again. Go.
Drop it.
Emil freezes. He drops his cigarette. His eyes dart wildly. RoboVision. The cigarette smolders on the ground. Now we zoom in close on Emil's face.
Dead or alive, pal, either way, you're coming with me.
Emil has heard these words before. He stares at Robo, staggered by nightmare deja vu.
You! We killed you! We killed you!
It's all too much. He opens up with the MAC-10 and dives for cover behind the gas pumps. Bullets bounce off Robo's armor and shred the gas pumps. One severs the feed hose and gas sprays out under high pressure. The attendant can't believe what he's seeing. Pink gas washes the glass window of the booth. He grabs his books and runs away as fast as he can. Emil fires, advancing to his bike. Fountains erupt from gas pumps as he riddles them with bullets. Gas seethes across the pavement, lapping at his shoes. He panics. RoboVision, command graphic, targeting. Behind the ruptured pumps, Emil jumps on his bike and jams it into gear. The bike slips and broadies on the fuel-slick tarmac, and now we're moving very quickly, racing toward the cigarette. It smolders on the ground. Tiny fingers of gasoline race to meet it. Emil is terrified. The bike inches forward as the rear wheel spins furiously, spraying gas. The bike hits dry ground and leaps away. Emil holds on for his life. Robo steps on the cigarette just before the gas reaches it. Gas floods the pavement around his feet. Suddenly, the Shell station explodes. Robo is engulfed in flames, and Emil, leaning low on the bike, races ahead of the fireball. In the fire, blackened mechanical legs step through the burning rubble. RoboVision. Command graphic, targeting. Vectors lock on the escaping Emil as we clear the fire, raise our blazing arm, and fire. Emil's motorcycle flips violently. Emil goes flying. Emil opens his eyes as smoldering steel hands pick him up, lifting him past Robo's fire-blackened legs and torso until he is eye-to-eye with Robo. RoboVision. Command graphic, record. Emil is delirious. He smiles as we record his face front and side. Behind him, the gas station goes up in flames.
You're dead, man.
Robo. Bright flames reflect in his visor as the underground storage tanks explode.
Who are you?
Emil leers an idiot's grin and passes out. A fireball plumes skyward toward the giant shell sign, and the S explodes in a shower of neon sparks. Robo, flames, and hell. Interior precinct hallway, RoboVision. We are walking down a corridor toward a double door marked Police CompuLab Fast. 10 information loaders look up from their workstations as the doors open. They look a little shocked. Cecil the clerk scurries to the front counter. He's scared, and it makes his speech impediment worse.
Can I help you out, sir?
No.
Cecil adjusts his glasses and tries to be brave.
What exactly is it you want? This is restrictive area. Sir?
Robo pushes past Cecil and steps up to the CFN terminal. Cecil blusters in front of him, summoning righteous indignation, but stops short when Robo raises his arm and makes a fist. Shick! A metallic strip snaps into place, protruding from his knuckles. Cecil and the loaders react to this. Cecil jumps back. Robo ignores him. Robo inserts the metallic strip into an access port. Hundreds of mugshots flash across the screen. The reflected faces race across his visor. RoboVision, command graphic, playback. The mugshots we took of Emil at the gas station play. Recreate his face in vectors, scan and turn and analyze. The CFN terminal, the vector analysis of Emil's face appears on the screen among the blur of mugshots. Suddenly, a mugshot of Emil freezes. His rap sheet appears. His known accomplices are listed along with mugshots and rap sheets: Joe, Chan, Leon, Clarence. RoboVision. We scan Clarence's lengthy rap sheet, stopping at suspect, murder, DPD officer AJ Murphy, file access code XJ05103. Command graphic, playback. Lewis appears quarter screen. She says, Murphy, it is you. Enter XJ05183. Robo tilts his head as new information flashes on the screen. The CFN screen, a photo ID of Murphy, appears along with the following information. Murphy, Alex James, KIA, 3128 Primrose Lane, DPD 1D, number 8788, deceased, classified. Robo stares at the screen, Murphy's face reflected across his visor. RoboVision very close on, deceased. Exterior housing complex, day. The turbo cruiser rolls past a street sign, Primrose Lane. The sky darkens overhead. Each residential unit in the complex is identical except for color and condition. Interior turbo cruiser Robo pulls up in front of a weathered prefab house. There's a for sale sign pounded into the overgrown lawn. He checks the address, 3128 Primrose Lane. At the front door, Robo tries the door. It's open. Thunder rumbles overhead. He pushes the door open. Interior Murphy's house, day. The house is a compact, sensibly designed living space. Lots of built-ins, smart appliances, an electronic cottage. Suddenly, music, fanfare for the model home. A wall comm unit. Monitor, phone, command keypad, all built into a cheap, practical unit. The monitor flickers to life with the logo Interspace Network and a happy salesman wearing a bow tie.
Welcome, shopper. Let's take a stroll through your new home.
Irritated, Robo walks away. Living room. Robo stands in the empty room. The comm unit pops up and the salesman continues his rap.
This is a one-family house built by ZM Industries. Situated near schools and shopping centers, this progressive community has a growth factor of 7.
RoboVision, flashback. Robo scans the room. Pictures and furniture bleed into the room, shimmering. The TV is on, and Murphy's son is watching TJ Laser. On screen, Laser blasts a bad guy and spins his gun into his holster. Now he turns to us as he fades away.
Neat, huh, Dad?
Robo stands, confused by this experience, then moves to the kitchen. Submarine style, very functional, lots of built-in appliances, another comm unit. It comes to life as Robo passes. He picks up a lone coffee cup in the empty open shelving that says world-class husband.
And say, it doesn't matter who cooks in your family because the Kitchen by Food Concepts makes the everything a snap.
Robo sets the cup on the counter a little too hard. The handle breaks off in his hand. The hallway comm unit flashes on as Robo walks past. The salesman talks fast.
Short on cash? With Master Budget Financing, your earning power is your equity. We manage your income so that you can manage your life.
Master bedroom. Robo steps in. Lots of mirrors make the room look bigger than it is. The comm unit clicks on.
Ah, the master bedroom. Functional space with a touch of elegance.
RoboVision flashback. We scan the empty room. The furnishings bleed in as Murphy's wife walks by in her robe, heading for the bathroom. Robo follows her.
Jimmy needs new clothes for school. The Websters want us to come to their party. And, hey, you look sexy in that shirt.
She drops her robe and steps into the steaming shower. She turns in the door. Robo is left looking at himself in the bathroom mirror. He touches the visor of his mask. The comm unit snaps on next to the mirror.
Hey, have you thought it all over? Why not make me an offer? I'm ready to make a
Robo shoves his fist through the screen. Exterior, cemetery, dusk, lightning flashes. In puddles and rain pours as Robo walks among the tombstones. Robo walks between wind-whipped trees. Thunder rolls as lightning snakes across the sky. Robo vision flashback. With each crack of lightning, the faces of the gang swirl in front of us, threatening, leering. Emil, Joe, Chan, Leon, Clarence. And now we come to a white marker with a raised white cross which reads, Alex Murphy, beloved husband and father, R.I.P. Exterior, high-rise luxury condo, night. The thunderstorm rolls through the city with rain and warm wind. Interior, Morton's bachelor pad. Muzak, Brazilian samba. Glass and electronics dominate. The curtains are blowing in front of the balcony. Morton lays down lines for himself. Chandra, a model of Eurotrash exotica variety. There's just something about the way it sounds, Vice President. It just turns me on. Morton can almost taste it. He scoops Coke into a spoon and heads for the balcony. Exterior, on the balcony, Tawny, Chandra's exotic partner in crime, stands in the warm rain wearing a sapphire cocktail dress.
Summer storm. I love the rain. Hey, you like bump crack?
It's one of the things I like to do.
She turns as Morton raises the spoon. Cocaine spills off her cheek, across her chest. Morton sees his chance and grabs it.
Well, what do you think of this?
He leans in, kissing at her neck, licking, working his way down between her breasts. Chandra chuckles. Whoa. Chandra giggles as she joins it. Sorry, I'm like hearing feedback. But now she pouts. Save some for me, Bob. The doorbell rings.
That must be the champagne.
Interior, Morton rushes to the door. He knows he's about to get it like he's never had it before. He opens the door. A killer sticks the barrel of his gun in Morton's nose. Morton sees him, but we don't. Morton backs into the room. Lots of terror, very little dignity.
Bitches leave.
Tawny and Chandra grab their clutch bags and edge quickly toward the door. Impulsively, Chandra checks her lipstick in a compact mirror.
Gee, Bobby, bye. You gonna call me?
And they're gone. As the door closes, Morton is shoved across the room. Morton summons what little courage he has.
Whatever it is you want, you won't get away with it. Do you know who I am?
The killer's hands twist the silencer onto the end of the gun. We hear tuneless humming. The gun barrel drops. 4 quick shots. Morton goes down, shot in the legs, crying out, whimpering, something like, I can't believe this is happening. The mirrored table, the killer's hand puts a small Watchman TV on the table and presses a button. The hands move to the Coke supply, take a sloppy pinch, snorting sounds, more humming, grab a cigarette and light it. Morton tries a different tact.
I'll give you anything. Please don't kill me.
Hello again, buddy boy. Dick Jones here. I'm guessing you're on your knees right about now, begging for your life. Pathetic. You don't feel so cocky now, do you, Bob?
Morton's Siamese cat rubs up against the killer's legs. The killer's hand scratches the cat's ears. Morton is in terrible pain. He's been shot, and his cat is in heat for the killer.
You know what the real tragedy is here, Bob? We could have been friends. Except you wouldn't go through the proper channels. You went over my head. That hurt.
A hand grenade is placed on the mirror table by the killer's hand. Clink. Morton silently says no over and over again.
But life goes on. It's an old story. The fight for love and glory, right, Bob? It helps if you really think of it like a game. Every game has a winner and a loser. I'm cashing you out, Bob.
The killer's hand pulls the pin on the grenade. The spoon flies across the room and lands near Morton's cat. Morton struggles towards the mirror table as the killer stands. Exterior hallway, Clarence Boddicker steps out of Morton's apartment. As he pulls the door shut, we see Morton reaching for the grenade. At the last possible moment, Morton's cat slips out. Clarence heads down the hall, humming. Behind him, the door is blown off its hinges. Interior turbo cruiser, night. Rain washes across the windshield as Robo drives through old Detroit, hunting, searching. He flicks the input strip on his fist and plugs into the access port next to the crime computer on the dash. The crime computer comes alive with facts and figures and a brace of photos: Joe, Chan, and Clarence. A hard copy feeds out of the printer. Exterior, dark streets. The turbo cruiser rolls past a Delta City sign that says, "The future has a silver lining, Delta City." Exterior, a street corner, night. The turbo cruiser idles nearby. Robo shoves a nervous pimp against a wall and shows him the picture. Thunder. Frightened. The pimp shakes his head. No. Exterior, under an awning, night. Two sex workers wait out the rain, shivering. Robo stands in the downpour with the mug sheet. They confer briefly, then shake their heads. No. Exterior, in an alley, night. The rain has stopped, but the streets are still wet. A row of 10 teenage gang members on their knees, hands on top of their heads, facing a brick wall. Robo walks behind them, holding the photograph inches from each one's face. In turn, the tough kids shake their heads. No. But the last guy hesitates. Robo steps on his leg. He points to Chan. Robo picks him up by his collar, and the kid talks fast. Robo drops his heads for the turbo cruiser. Interior, rock shop, night. This is the biggest processing lab in the city. Built in what was once a supermarket, the floor-to-ceiling windows have been painted out and a wheezing pharmaceutical assembly line sprawls across the fluorescent-lit interior, grinding, sifting, and bottling cocaine. Workers wearing protective masks tend the line. Overhead on catwalks, guards with shotguns keep an eye on the workers. Coke dusts the air. Clarence and Sal, a fish-eyed man in a bad suit, walk through the lab. Sal is flanked by two bodyguards wearing heavy iron-in shoulder holsters. Leon and Joe trail further back. Chan wanders past noisy machines on the line, balancing his auto load. He stops, helps himself to a sloppy nose full of cocaine, then heads off in another direction.
I don't give a shit what you want to pay, Clarence. I set the price in this town.
Listen, pal, maybe you haven't heard. I'm the guy in Old Detroit. You want space in my marketplace, you're going to have to give me a volume discount.
Let me put things in perspective here, hero. You kill a bunch of cops. The word around is you got big connections downtown. You make a lot of people nervous. They would love to see some guy like me put you out of business.
I run the sales organization in Old Detroit, you dumb son of a bitch. I can keep the streets dry long enough to put you back in the olive oil business.
Frankie, blow this cocksucker's head off.
Frankie draws his big, ugly magnum. Chan steps around the corner behind Sal, cocking his shotgun, sliding it under Sal's chin. Everyone in the lab stops what they're doing to watch the outcome. Clarence pats Sal on the cheek.
Sal, baby, the Tigers are playing tonight, and I never miss a game. Could we get together on this?
The heavy steel door behind Chan flexes violently and falls open to reveal, standing in the doorway, his A9 out and ready to do business. Chan pivots to face him. Sal's other bodyguard draws his gun. The workers on the line go for a handy assortment of automatic weapons. The guards overheard cock their shotguns.
Come quietly or there'll be trouble.
RoboVision, command graphic, combat mode. A moment of disbelief flickers over the faces of this small army of hoods. Lightning analysis of positions and armament. 15 targets, 9 shots, full. Leon looks annoyed and goes for his gun.
Oh, fuck you.
All hell breaks loose as everyone with a gun opens fire. Clarence hits the ground. Behind him, Chan fires, cocks, and fires again. Robo, bullets and buckshot glance off his armor. He uses his forearm to parry a bullet aimed at his face. All the while, his A9 blazes. Clarence scrambles to get away from Robo and all the firepower directed at him. Chan is blown off his feet into Sal's lap. Leon stands exposed, struggling to get his own gun out. The bodyguards. Frankie's eyes cross as he takes a bullet between them. His sidekick is spun around by Robo's bullets into the patch of automatic gunfire by the lab workers. Joe empties his .45 double-handed. A bullet blows 2 of his fingers off and sends the gun spinning away. A hood next to Leon takes one through the chest. Leon grabs Joe and pulls him through a fire door. An alarm sounds. RoboVision. The targeting grids dance from one hood to the next, and we pick them off methodically. Targets: 10, 9, 8, 2 shots remaining, Reload. 2 more hoods go down. Robo grabs Sal by the neck and hurls him across the room. He drops a clip and reloads in one smooth action. The workers duck as Sal's body hits the rack of glassware and falls across a rotating filler sorter machine. Plumes of cocaine cloud the air. Lab workers return fire from behind the moving bottling machinery. RoboVision, command graphic, combat mode. The methodical extermination of bad guys continues. Targets 7, 6, 7 shots remaining. On the catwalks above, the shotgun guards fire and retreat behind cover. Vectors suggest possible strategies. The catwalks, both guards come out. Both guards come out to fire. Robo fires, spins, and fires again. One guy thuds to the ground. The other guard, hit in the neck, wedges his foot and hangs from the catwalk upside down. Robo spins again and levels his A9 at Clarence. He pulls the pin on a grenade. The room has been decimated around him. The dead shotgun guard hangs behind him by his heels.
Cool it, cop, or I turn this room into a meat locker.
Robo, jaw set, the meanest cop that ever lived, staring over the barrel of a smoking Auto 9, steps closer. Clarence bares his fangs.
I mean it, man.
Robo smiles slightly, then he grabs Clarence. Clarence sails through the air and crashes through a painted floor-to-ceiling supermarket window. Another window shatters when the grenade goes off outside. Robo spins the A9 into its holster as he crosses the room, all business, stepping over several dead thugs and through the shattered window.
Let me save us both a lot of time. Put me in jail and I'll be out in minutes. I'm in business with Omnica.
Clarence howls as he smashes through another window back into the lab. Blood from the hanging guard spatters his face. Robo hovers over Clarence ominously and cuffs him.
Clarence Bodegar, you're under arrest. You have the right to remain silent. You have the right to an attorney.
Listen, I know the guy you work for. We're buddies. I could make life real easy for you.
Clarence screams as Robo hoists him to his feet by his handcuffs.
Anything you say can and will be held against you in a court of law.
RoboVision, command graphic, record. Clarence hits the jam hard. He turns his back to Robo.
Come on, man. I'm trying to do you a favor. I work for Dick Jones. You can call him. I have his card. He's the number 2 guy at Omnicon.
Command graphic, voice stress analyst. Green letters point out 93% truth probability. Exterior Coke Lab. Clarence crashes hard headfirst into the turbo cruiser door.
Don't you get it? Omnicon runs the cops. You're a cop.
Yeah, I'm a cop.
He opens the car door and shoves Clarence inside. Interior precinct booking desk. Reed is on a rampage. Kaplan and Starkweather brave the storm.
Got that one line. I'm the shop.
The one before that. I don't like it anymore.
Got it. I don't like it any more than you do, Reed. But listen.
You listen to me, asshole. You're thinking about shutting down a major metropolitan police force without cops. This city will tear itself apart.
I'm the shop steward, so I gotta tell you. The union thinks you should know there was a strike vote last night.
Reed turns to the growing group of cops that have come in from the locker room. He glares at first one, then another, looking for proof that this isn't true.
Getting creamed out there, Reed.
The front doors fly open. Robo drags Clarence in and throws him against the booking desk. Clarence snarls like a trapped animal.
Book him. He's a cop killer.
He turns, looking at the other cops for a moment, then heads out the door. The cops are a panorama of reactions. Impressed, confused, angry, and then there's Lewis, who just looks concerned.
Just give me my fucking phone call.
Exterior precinct, parking garage entrance, night. Music up, hard driving and ominous. The shark-like nose of the turbo cruiser leaps out into the street. Interior turbo cruiser, Robo drives, his jaw set, grim. RoboVision, command graphic, playback. Clarence's confession plays quarter screen over and over again as we twist and turn through dark city streets. I work for Dick Jones. He's the number 2 guy at Omnicom. Don't you get it? Exterior, the turbo cruiser blasts through the squalor of old Detroit. Interior OCP tower, Jones's office. Jones is at his desk talking on the phone.
I understand. Look, I know the deal, but you let me down. Just remember that. You owe me.
He hangs up, thinking, drumming well-manicured fingers on rosewood. He slides open a desk drawer and takes out a CompuMap card. The CompuMap is activated. A blinking red dot is moving toward the center. Robo is coming. Exterior, bridge over the river, night. The turbo cruiser crosses into the financial district. Above dozens of brightly lit skyscrapers rises the imposing Omnicom Tower. Exterior, financial district, night. The turbo cruiser turns and heads down a ramp into the parking garage beneath the OCP tower. Interior OCP tower, parking garage. Robo pulls the turbo cruiser into a space near the elevators. Two exhausted executives, ties loosened, stare at Robo as Robo gets out of the car. Robo ignores them. Elevator lobby. Robo pushes the call button. He waits. Ding! The elevator doors open and clerks and secretaries push nervously past Robo. He steps in and the doors close. Interior elevator. Robo waits. Ding! The elevator pauses at the 73rd floor. The doors open and a cleaning woman, Emma, backs in with her cleaning cart. The doors close. Now she looks at Robo.
Hi there.
Robo nods. Interior OCP tower, elevator lobby, 112th floor. Ding! The elevator doors open and Emma pushes her cart out. Robo walks down a long corridor. Robo reaches a set of double doors marked Dick Jones, Senior President, Security Concepts Division. He opens the door. Interior Jones's office, the reception area, is empty and dark. Robo walks past 3 desks and through a door marked private. Interior Jones's inner office. The office is a huge L-shaped room, dark except for the glow of city lights below. Someone lights a cigarette. It's Jones.
Come in, officer. You don't usually see anyone without an appointment, but in your case, I'll make an exception.
Robo steps forward, his hand hovering near his handcuffs.
You're under arrest.
Oh, what's the charge?
Aiding and abetting a known felon.
Sounds like I'm in a lot of trouble. Better take me in.
Robo reaches for his handcuffs and freezes. RoboVision, the prime directives pump up the screen. Directive 1, protect and serve the public trust. Directive 2, uphold. Directive 3, classified. Directive 3 is flashing. Beep, beep, beep. And now it is revealed. Directive 3, OCP product ID number 943054-8C.
What's the matter, officer?
An OCP product shall not act against OCP's best interests. An OCP product shall act against any senior OCP officer. An OCP product shall not... Robo's knees buckle. His arms go limp. The handcuffs fall on the desk. He struggles against his own failing body. Jones leans forward, interested.
I'll tell you what's the matter. It's a little insurance policy called Directive 3, my little contribution to your psychological profile. Any attempt to arrest a senior officer of CMI results in shutdown.
RoboVision. Directive 3 continues to flash as the system-by-system shutdown continues. A frenzy of warning lights and a blur of data as we collapse. Now video breakup distorts our vision. Jones stands, looking down.
What did you think? That you were an ordinary policeman? You're our product. We can't very well have our product turning against us, can we?
Robo struggles drunkenly for his gun, pulls it clear of the holster, and then drops it.
Oh, there's a little fight left in you. Maybe you'd like to meet a friend of mine.
Jones presses a switch and the lights come on. ED-209 stands behind Jones. He cocks both arms into firing position and moves around the desk toward Robo.
I had to kill Bob Morton because he made a mistake. Now it's time to erase the mistake.
You are trespassing on private property.
Interior Jones's office reception area. Robo is blown through the door and slammed into a desk by the impact of ED-209's bullets. Close on Robo, his visor is cracked and beneath it we see a human eye blinking. ED-209 lumbers forward, looming. He swings one of his cannon muzzles like a club. Thwack. Interior hallway, Robo crashes through the double doors and hits the opposite wall hard enough to dent it. He shakes his head as ED-209 walks forward through the splintered double doors, raising the cannon muzzle like an executioner and bringing it within inches of Robo's face.
I am now authorized to use deadly force.
Robo slams his fist against the cannon muzzle as hard as he can, deflecting it as ED-209 fires. ED-209 blows his own arm off. He examines the smoking stump. Robo struggles to his feet, holding his head, barely able to stand. He staggers down the hall. ED-209 pivots, leveling his remaining cannon arm, and fires a small, smart rocket from the launch tube next to the machine gun port. Robo looks over his shoulder and sees what's coming. The smart rocket streaks down the hallway towards Robo. He dodges around a corner. The rocket follows. Robo hits the ground and the rocket overshoots him. Exterior OCP Tower, night. A fireball consumes a bank of windows on the 112th floor. Interior Dick Jones's office. Jones is on the phone. He has to shout to be heard above the gunfire and explosions.
Just put Lieutenant Hedgecock on the line. There's trouble at the tower.
Interior smoke-filled hallways. ED-209 lumbers along, searching for Robo. Suddenly, Robo blindsides him, knocking ED-209 against the wall. ED-209 fires, tracking Robo's retreat and shredding portraits of Omnicon's finest executives that line the hall. Robo leaps through a door marked stairway. Interior stairwell. Robo staggers and falls down the stairs, leaking fluids. ED-209 enters the stairwell. He pauses at the first step. His feet are much larger than the individual steps. He takes a tentative step, then another, then teeters forward, losing his balance, and tumbles end over end to the next landing and crashes through the handrail. Now he faces the turtle's dilemma. He flails his arms and legs, trying to flip himself over. Frustrated, he starts shooting. Robo staggers down and down and down. Gunfire echoes. Interior hallway. Jones pokes his head into the decimated corridor. Emma rolls her cleaning cart around the corner. She looks at the destruction, then at Jones.
This ain't gonna get cleaned up tonight.
Interior parking garage, night. Robo falls through a door marked stairs. As he climbs to his feet, he is hit by 10 spotlights. Lieutenant Hedgecock stands in the cover of a SWAT team van with a bullhorn. Cops and 20 fierce assault team officers are in position behind a barricade of turbo cruisers.
Prepare to fire.
Robo looks confused as weapons are cocked up and down the line. The cops, Kaplan and Ramirez, exchange glances.
Hey, wait a second.
He's a cop, for Christ's sake.
We have orders to destroy it. Fire at will.
Robo makes a run for it as the SWAT team opens up. The opening barrage knocks him off his feet. He struggles for cover behind a concrete column as bullets dent his armor. The SWAT team has the firepower of a small army. Each man is a professional doing what he does best.
Aim for his head. It's the only way to stop him. 'Tis.
Robo makes a dash for the next column. Bullets pound his helmet. He covers his face like a boxer, running until another fusillade knocks him down. He stumbles, crawling, as bullets chew holes in his armor. The SWAT team track him with the barrels of their guns, firing constantly. Robo reaches cover, pushing painfully to his feet against the column. The bullets stop. He braces himself and sprints with the last of his strength. The world explodes around him again. He throws himself over a low concrete wall. Exterior street, parking garage ramp, night. Robo lands painfully, armor ragged, one leg badly damaged. He limps up the ramp to the street. Sirens fill the air. Interior parking garage. Lieutenant Hedgecock barks orders on the radio as cops jump for their cars. Exterior street. Robo staggers, falls, and grabs a wall for support. Exterior parking garage ramp. Turbo cruisers leap out into the street like jackals. Exterior alley. Robo claws his way along the wall. At the end of the alley, a turbo cruiser wails around the corner, lights flashing. Robo crashes into a row of garbage cans and falls into the street. Robo raises his head at the approaching lights. A turbo cruiser bears down on him, siren howling, lights blinding. Robo staggers to his feet. The turbo cruiser screeches to a halt and the door flies open. Robo, blinded by the lights, barely able to stand. His fists are clenched, ready to fight. Lewis steps out from behind the door, hands empty.
Murphy, it's okay. It's me, Lewis.
Robo stares, dropping his guard. He teeters and Lewis rushes to his side to support him. Commercial 5. Music up. I love Detroit. Lots of brass and percussion. Fireworks over the city at night, and 3 dancers. A woman on roller skates, an enthusiastic businessman, and a black man wearing a lab coat. They sing too. I love Detroit. It's the place to be. Business and pleasure, the sights and the weather. Detroit's the place for me. Sponsored by the Committee for Corporate Concern. Media break. Jess Perkins and Casey Wong. Happy, bright, successful young people.
Good evening. I'm Casey Wong with Chris Perkins, and these are tonight's top stories. Contaminated chlorophyll at the Luna Industrialplex Air Farm resulted in serious breathing disorders for an estimated 17% of the population.
Jess Perkins, the Texas Clone Institute, a doctor is reading from a prepared statement. Several women weep. It was revealed today by doctors at the Texas Clone Institute that Hollywood immortal Sylvester Stallone died yesterday during an unsuccessful brain transplant. A longtime supporter of bioengineering, Stallone was 97. Commercial 6. Animation with happy music. A dapper boy dog sniffs the air, following a scent, tail wagging in anticipation. The scent leads us to a pretty girl dog. Boy dog makes bedroom eyes at the girl dog, mounts her, and wails away until a new scent drifts past his nose. He leaves the girl dog behind. She looks a little annoyed and follows the new scent to a bowl piled high with Felix food. Everything your dog needs in just one can. Casey Wong. Behind him, a graphic of a police officer in a circle with a line through it. International symbol for no cops.
Police union representatives at the Omnicom continue negotiations today in hopes of averting a citywide strike by police scheduled to begin tomorrow at midnight. We go now live to Justin Ballard Watkins in Lexington.
A turbo cruiser rolls down a city street. Pull back for Justin Ballard Watkins. Supered over, live 10:03.
They're on duty tonight, but what about tomorrow? That's the question we put to people in the crime-plagued Lexington area.
An irate homeowner holding a hammer. Behind him, boarded up windows. Super over, Peter Whitley, homeowner.
They're public servants. They have job security. They're not supposed to strike.
An old hippie, bearded, stoned, a button that says US out of Mexico. Super over, Kava Rosenberg, shopkeeper.
The cops are workers like everyone else in society. They're getting a raw deal from management. You know, cops have rights too.
A pale nun with a beatific smile. Super over, Sister Teresa Platic, St. Mary's Center.
Crisis is God's way of searching for the truth. And if we seek with Him, we discover our own humanity. Crisis can be a good thing. It brings people together.
Video breakup. Interior OCP Tower, day, hallway. Clarence Boddicker walks along the war-torn hallway of the 112th floor, humming tunelessly, wearing a garish Hawaiian shirt. Workman hammer and paint. He comes to Jones's office and walks through the splintered double doors. Interior Jones's office reception area. Business goes on despite the destruction. 3 secretaries, the finest money can buy, answer phones. Clarence steps up to the prettiest one. Her nameplate reads Barbara.
Hi, Barbara. Listen, I'm here to see Dick Jones, but after I'm done talking with Dick, I thought maybe you'd like to play with mine. I've got some free time later on. Maybe you could fit me in.
He's expecting you, Mr. Boddicker.
Interior Dick Jones's office. Jones sits at his computer looking over the city. He holds the CompuMap card. The red light pulses on the edge of the screen. Still, Clarence enters, humming.
Hey, Dickie boy. Some decorator you got around here.
Clarence makes himself at home, dumping chunks of cocaine on Jones's rosewood desk, cramming gum in his mouth, crushing coke with Jones's letter opener, cramming coke in his nose. Jones spins around in his chair.
The police officer who arrested you, the one you spilled your guts to, you have to kill him. Really screwed up, you know.
Hey, pal, I've come through for you whenever you needed a favor. All I ever asked in return was a guarantee of no jail. He was taking me to jail.
He's a cyborg, you idiot. He recorded every word you said. His memory is admissible as evidence. You followed me. You may have damaged me.
Well, listen, Chief, you wanted dead cops so you could sell your robot. Now I gotta deal with the fucking thing. I don't have time for this bullshit.
Hold on. It wouldn't be worth your while. Delta City begins construction in 2 months. 2 million workers living in trailers. Many of them will become city residents. Drugs, gambling, prostitution, virgin territory for the man who knows how to open up new markets. One man could control it all. You.
Jones tosses the CompuMap card on the desktop. Clarence takes 2 deliberate hits of crack.
Well, I guess we're gonna be friends after all, Richard. You got access to military weaponry?
Of course. You practically are the military.
Clarence picks up the CompuMap card. The CompuMap card with its pulsing red dot. Exterior industrial ruins day. Lewis pulls up in a turbo cruiser. What was once a massive auto assembly complex is now a crumbling ruin. She drives through a 3-story high door into the dark interior. Interior, turbo cruiser. Lewis maneuvers between piles of rubble. On the seat next to her are 2 cases of baby food, spinach and strained beef. Interior, factory space. An empty space the size of 3 football fields. The walls are tumbling down and most of the ceiling has collapsed. The turbo cruiser winds its way across the floor. Interior turbo cruiser, Lewis drives carefully. Up ahead, Robo sits on the open floor, hammering on his damaged right leg. The turbo cruiser pulls up and Lewis gets out with the baby food in a leather satchel. The sound of hammering echoes. Robo has stripped off some of the outer armor plates and exposed complex inner workings. We see flexible steel muscles at work as he hammers on at a twisted plate, pulling it back from the damaged leg. Lewis drops the satchel near him. Clank. Robo stops working and digs into the satchel. His helmet is badly damaged. The human eye takes Lewis in.
I wasn't sure what you needed. I sort of grabbed things.
Robo takes several sophisticated hand tools out of the satchel, then a small cordless power ratchet.
Thanks.
He fits a bit on the power ratchet and shoves it up under the lip of his helmet near his temple. Zzz. A 2-inch machine bolt screws out of his head at an angle and falls to the floor. Now he applies the ratchet to the other side. Zzz. Then he grabs his helmet and lifts.
You may not like what you're going to see.
Lewis watches. She steps closer, curious but apprehensive. The helmet hits the floor and teeters. Lewis moves closer, intrigued. She looks around and picks up a shiny scrap of metal.
Hey, you're not looking bad, Murphy.
She holds the scrap of metal. This is the first time we see Robo's face. It distorts in the makeshift mirror. Close on Robo's eyes. Murphy's eyes, but flecked with tiny glowing LEDs in red, blue, and yellow. Robo studies his new face. It is an elegant blend of flesh and steel. 2 recessed organic access plates have been installed on his forehead. What's left of his hair is a haphazard scrub that ends abruptly in ribbed titanium just past the crown of his skull. He touches the back of his head, feeling the metal in the place he took Clarence's final fatal shot with distaste. Lewis watches with compassion. She reaches out to touch the flesh part of his face.
It's really good to see you again.
Robo knocks her hand away. His left hand is badly mangled.
Murphy had a wife and son. What happened to them?
Robovision. Lewis hesitates, moving closer, trying to find the right words.
After the funeral, she moved away.
Where did they go?
She signed on with Moon Corp. I'm not sure if you remember, she's got a sister living at the Luna Industrialplex. She thought you were dead. Murphy, I'm sorry.
Robo absorbing this. He goes back to work on his leg.
They would not know me as I am now. Feel them. I can't remember them. Reconciliation would cause needless trauma.
Lewis reaches out to help, but Robo waves her away.
Leave me alone.
She backs away, confused and a little hurt. Interior industrial ruins, night. A fire burns. Robo works on his leg with a torch. He tosses baby food back, half a jar at a time, as heats. Oh, sorry, I'm trying to read this right. At a time, as heat bends steel fibula until it is red hot. He throws the empty jar aside and it breaks somewhere in the dark. Tink! Now he pounds the metal back into place with a hammer. He stands, carefully, testing the smoking leg. He grabs another jar of baby food and opens it, eating as he walks past the turbo cruiser, where Lewis sleeps behind the wheel despite the crackle and cop chatter coming over the comlink. He bends down and opens the leather satchel with his free hand. Inside the satchel, a new Auto 9 gleams with oil in the pale moonlight. Robo takes it out, gives it a little spin to check the balance, and shoves it in his holster. He walks back to the fire, tossing aside another empty baby food jar. Tink! He grabs another jar, opens it, and stands looking out over the broken walls at the throbbing city skyline. RoboVision, the Omnicom Tower, spikes high in the sky under a full moon. Command graphic, prime directive. They chug up the screen over at the tower. Directive 1, protect and serve the public trust. Directive 2, uphold the law. Directive 3, CMI product ID number 943054-8C. Directive 3 begins to flash. Now we look up at the moon. The directives disappear, and the moon hangs high in the sky, pulling at us. Interior turbocruiser Lewis sleeps in the cramped cockpit. Blue light from the VU screen flickers across her face. A gunshot wakes her. A moment later, tink. She jumps out of the car and sees Robo standing among the broken walls under the moon. He knocks back another jar of baby food and tosses it high in the air, tracking it and firing. A moment later, tink. He is missed again. He holsters the gun, grabs a full jar, and opens it. Lewis walks up, nervous, unsure. Outside somewhere, a burglar alarm goes off. Then 2 more. They exchange meaningful glances. Somewhere, there's crime happening.
My targeting grids are out of alignment.
I'll help you if you let me.
Thanks, partner.
She grabs 3 jars of baby food. She puts each one at a different level on a crumbling wall. She points at the first jar. RoboVision, command graphic, targeting. The targeting grids are spatially askew. We're pointing the Auto 9 20 degrees to the left of the target. Lewis walks up, smiling, and redirects the gun. Now she moves past us. Lewis leans in close, standing on her tiptoes to sight along his arm. Her head touches his.
That's dead on as far as I can tell.
RoboVision, command graphic, targeting. The 2 grids merge and lock on the jar of baby food. Command graphic, recalibration. We fire and hit the jar. We move to the next jar. The targeting grids follow suit. Outside, alarms are now ringing all over the city. Lewis sights along his arm again, making a tiny adjustment.
I guess we're on strike.
Robo looks across at the Omnicom Tower.
The law doesn't go on strike.
He fires, breaks the second jar, tracks and hits the third. Lewis smiles enigmatically, grabs 3 more jars and tosses them one after another. 3 baby food jars, cute babies laughing on the label, are splattered by 3 quick shots as they arc past the moon. Exterior, street with shops, night. Emo leans against a wall next to the display window of an appliance discount house, smoking. The white van is nearby. Alarms are ringing close by. He looks at his watch. He looks up as a car roars by, almost out of control. Emo throws a cigarette after it. He looks at his watch again. He's very bored. He looks around, then shatters the display window with a roundhouse kick. The alarm goes off. Emo grabs a radio and turns it on. Hot funk music. Suck it up until you can't feel it. He's happy now. Clarence's 6000 SUX pulls up across the street. The windshield is spiderwebbed, the steering wheel is in pieces, and the dash is caved in. Clarence and Leon get out. Clarence is wearing a heavy flak jacket. 3 grenades hang on his chest. Leon's jaw is wired shut. Emil shows off his prison shirt, laughing.
Hey man, they let me keep the shirt.
Clarence breaks out the crack, welcoming his boys back. Joe butterfly bandage across his nose, pulls up in an immaculate black 6000 SUX. It's identical to Clarence's, only nicer.
Sucks. Nice wheels, dude.
Found it in the prison parking lot. Still has the factory sticker.
Hey, Clarence, Joe's got a car just like yours.
Clarence smiles, opening the trunk of his own SUX. Inside are 4 bulky but lethal-looking rifles, 20mm Cobra assault cannon with video targeting sights. Clarence grabs one, cocks it, and fires at Joe's new car. The immaculate 6000 SUX. Thunk! A 20mm hole appears in the side panel. Then boom! The front end of the car is blown away. The 6000 SUX lurches forward like a dead horse.
Nice car, Joe.
Joe is devastated. Clarence throws him the smoking Cobra, then passes them out to Leon and Emil. Emil drools over this major piece of hardware. He fires 3 times into the appliance store from the hip. The appliance store is rocked by 3 explosions. Toasters and TVs are blown into the street. This is a messy weapon.
I like it.
Joe fires a round at a fire hydrant. Water spouts 30 feet in the air. Joe giggles, the loss of his SUX completely forgotten. Emil and Joe start shooting up the street. Clarence shows Leon the CompuMap card. The red dot pulses still.
He's in the factory district.
Cool guns, man. But what's the deal? Charity work ain't your style?
Delta City. We're in on the ground floor of the future. There's going to be rackets just like in any other city, only in Delta City, we'll run them.
Like I always say, good business is where you find it.
Leon cocks his Cobra. Joe and Emil approach a pet store window. Their Cobra's leveled and smoking. In the window, a puppy paws at the window, tail wagging, yapping.
Oh, look at the puppy.
Emil and Joe exchange evil glances. Joe raises his gun.
Hey, he's on the move. Stop wasting ammo. Let's go.
Oh, the street looks like Beirut. The SUX and the van roar away, tires smoking. Suddenly, the van screeches to a halt in front of the pet store. Interior van, Joe leers at Emil and tips the barrel of his Cobra out the window. The pet store and the van, Joe fires twice and the pet store explodes. Ba-boom. Dick. Interior turbo cruiser night driving through an embattled shopping district. Lewis drives, Robo rides. Outside the world is coming apart at the seams. Robovision. We pass a car upside down on fire. Looters smash store windows with pipes, grabbing merchandise. A mob throws a bus stop bench through the front doors of a liquor store. Someone yells, "Hey everybody, drinks on the house." Lewis breaks suddenly. 3 looters run across the street. One carries a TV, another struggles with a twisted bundle of fur coats, and the third man shoulders a hind quarter of beef. Across the street, Lee's Sporting Goods. Looters have smashed the windows and are coming out with tennis rackets, skis, and lots of guns. The Chinese owner, Lee, appears from inside with his own gun, hysterical.
Stop! Stop! Come back tomorrow! Big sale!
Ike Bender, redneck and proud of it, steps through the broken doors with a deer rifle and shoots Lee in the leg.
I'm busy tomorrow, Sloop.
He fires carelessly, kicking up pavement near Lee. It's a rowdy crowd. They start shooting off guns like kids with firecrackers. Lee cringes. Interior turbo cruiser. Robo sets his jaw. Lewis is grim. Robo opens the door and gets out.
What are you going to do?
A mob has no guts.
Lewis thinks for a moment, then twists her own shield off, hits the lights, grabs a riot gun, and gets out of the car. Exterior street. Robo walks towards the sporting goods store, drawing his Auto 9. Lewis takes aim across the roof of the turbo cruiser. Robo raises his Auto 9 over his head and fires 3 times.
All right, citizens, party's over. Drop your weapons.
The looters. Many are armed, others hold TV sets, scuba equipment, chrome racing wheels. Someone bounces a basketball. Ike Bender, nobody's fool, steps forward and chambers around.
Hey, there's 30 of us and only 2 of you.
Yeah, he's right. What are you going to do about it?
Robo fires. Ike takes a bullet in the shoulder and goes down. The deer rifle clatters to the pavement. Robo fires 4 times. The deer rifle skates and twists as bullets pound it. The crowd gasps. Several people drop their guns immediately. The man with the basketball lets it go. It bounces away.
Any more questions?
Lewis covers her partner from behind the turbo cruiser. She looks up as the white van pulls up to the curb down the block. Lewis wonders where she's seen this van before. Robo stares the mob down. A drunk from the recently looted liquor store staggers up holding a bottle.
Hey, you shot him.
Go back to your homes, lock your doors, and stay there. Do it now. You got a problem, mister?
The drunk staggers back, dropping his bottle. Lewis watches the van. Now a door opens and Joe steps out with one of the massive Cobra ACs.
Murphy, heads up.
Joe opens fire. The looters dive for cover as explosive rounds tear up the street. Explosions send looters flying through the air. Now the looters are in a true panic, screaming, running, heading for home. An exploding round flips a manhole cover like a coin. Ike Bender struggles to his feet. The manhole cover flattens him. Robo returns fire, running for the turbo cruiser. A shell misses Robo and hits a steel light pole. A 20-millimeter twist bullet embeds itself in the pole and burrows in. A moment later, it explodes, shattering the light pole like shrapnel. Robo drops to one knee, dazed. Lewis jumps into the turbo cruiser and guns it into a tire burning turn. She drives expertly, using her free hand to fire the shotgun at Joe through the passenger window. Joe ducks for cover behind the van door. He brings the Cobra up and returns fire. The turbo cruiser stops and Robo jumps in. A round explodes near the car, blasting out the windshield. Lewis, face cut, hits the gas. Interior turbo cruiser. Lewis punches it, then stops hard to avoid hitting several panicked looters. She swerves right, then left, dodging looters and explosions. Robo snaps a spent clip out of his Auto 9. He's bleeding from a gash in his cheek. Lewis wipes blood out of her eye.
Hey, Murphy, you're bleeding. What the hell is that?
Cobra assault cannon, built by Omnicon for the Army.
Exterior street. The SUX leaps out of an alley and clips the front end of the turbo cruiser. The turbo cruiser spins like a pinwheel. Interior turbo cruiser. Lewis fights the wheel. She throws the car into reverse. Exterior street. The turbo cruiser howls as it hits high speed in reverse. Metal hits pavement and plows a wake of sparks. The SUX comes on fast. Interior turbo cruiser. Lewis drives, looking over her shoulder. Robo pounds a fresh clip into his gun. Robovision. The SUX bears down. Leon is driving and Clarence is hoisting a Cobra out of the side window. Command graphic, targeting. Robo opens fire. Exterior SUX. Clarence and Leon duck as the windshield spider webs and falls away under fire. Interior turbo cruiser. Lewis sees the white van slide to a stop in an intersection ahead. Joe jumps out, drawing a bead. Sign flashes by, right turn only. Exterior streets. The turbo cruiser whips into a narrow alley. The SUX wails past the mouth of the alley. Lewis blasts down the alley in reverse. Interior turbo cruiser. Robo turns to Lewis as she spins the car through a bootleg turn at the outlet of the alley and kicks in the afterburners. Exterior streets, night. The front of the turbo cruiser is bucking and dragging in a rooster tail of sparks. Coming up from behind, the white van charges after the turbo cruiser. In the van, Emil lets out a little war cry and bounces in his seat. Joe leans his Cobra out the side window. Interior SUX. Clarence and Leon are blasted by 60-mile-per-hour winds. Leon uses his hand to his eyes as a shield. Clarence puts on a pair of sunglasses as they overtake the van. Clarence signals to Emil, shoving gum in his mouth and balancing his Cobra over the dash. Exterior turbo cruiser. Explosions right and left. A shell hits the right engine. Interior turbo cruiser. Robo and Lewis are rocked by the explosion as the right rear flames out. Half the gauges on the dash drop simultaneously. Lewis hits the fire control buttons. She wipes more blood out of her eyes. She's pushing the car for all it's worth. Warning tones sound and panel lights flash as Robo reloads his gun again. His last clip.
1 Baker 44. Officers need assistance. Repeat, officers need assistance in Old Detroit. Come on, God damn it, I know you're out there. We're gonna lose in the car.
Robo looks over his shoulder. Exterior streets. The SUX swerves up behind the turbo cruiser. Clarence fires twice, missing. Lewis powers the turbo cruiser through a corner and heads over a bridge. The bridge. The SUX flies over the bridge, followed by the careening white van. They slam on their brakes. Interior turbo cruiser. A 12-foot fence and gate loom across the street at the end of the alley. Lewis looks at Robo. He nods. Exterior, OK Steelworks, night. The turbo cruiser hits the fence at 60 miles per hour or above, and the cyclone fence flies apart in several massive sections. The turbo cruiser spins out into the steel yard. Lewis guns the remaining turbine and drives the car through the cavernous doors of the foundry building. The SUX and the van jump and buck over what remains of the fence. There are signs on the sprung gate. OK Steelworks, condemned. No trespassing. Dog on duty. They pause outside the foundry doors. Interior, white van. Joe gets out of the van. Emil hits the horn.
Come on, man. Let's smoke them.
The wrecking crew is here.
Interior, SUX. Clarence snarls at Emil and Joe as Leon steps out of the SUX.
Inside, we stick together. Nothing fancy. Just kill him.
Interior, foundry, night. Shafts of moonlight cut through holes in the ceiling. The space is huge, damp from the rain, piled with the remains of what was once a thriving steel plant. The white van ghosts the SUX as it rumbles through a set of doors 100 yards ahead. Joe and Leon walk point in the headlights. Everyone's edgy. Water drips. This is a spooky place. Leon struggles with the bulky cobra. Somewhere nearby, a dog growls, then starts to bark. Interior SUX, Clarence checks the rearview mirror. Interior van, Emil grabs her cigarettes. Joe walks backwards, looking for something to shoot at. A second dog snarls. Joe quickly looking. On a heap of slag up ahead, a Doberman with a tapered ear snarls as he's joined by the first dog, a mangy German shepherd. Both dogs begin to bark.
Fucking dogs.
Joe fires a salvo and the dogs run for it as smoke and slag dust cloud the air. In the smoke, the gang laughs nervously. The dust clears as the gang emerges from the foundry. Emil looks up from lighting his cigarette. It droops. Exterior liquid storage. Robo stands near a cluster of sagging medical tanks. He has his gun out. The moon is high over him.
Looking for me.
The gang hesitates for a moment. Emil lights a cigarette. Leon looks a little scared.
Get him.
And then he hears the whine of a turbine engine. The turbo cruiser charges from behind, Lewis at the wheel. Interior white van. Emil can't believe what he sees in the mirror. The turbo cruiser rams the van and rams it again, tires digging in. Emil pumps the brakes in a panic. He looks back and sees that he's being pushed. He looks again and sees a peeling yellow storage tank clearly marked danger, toxic waste. In the turbo cruiser, Lewis kicks in the afterburner and then hits the brakes hard. The storage tank. Emil's van punches into the tank and stops. The rear doors blow open and Emil is washed out screaming in a flood of foaming corrosive chemicals. He touches his face and it comes away in strings of flesh. Melting Emil runs blindly through the battle, flailing past Joe, who shoots as he retreats and smacks into Leon.
Look away from me!
Leon races for cover. Emil stumbles and falls, writhing on the ground. RoboVision. Twist bullets wind by. Command graphic targeting. The targeting grids flicker over Clarence's face. He ducks and hits the gas. Robo fires 3 times as the SUX bears down on him. Bullets spark off the hood. The SUX clips Robo, knocking him across the yard, and heads for the largest building in the steel yard, the pressing plant. The turbo cruiser roars after it. Joe and Leon scramble for better position, firing at Robo. He rolls to his feet as the ground explodes around him, running hard for the cover of the pressing plant, turning to fire 2 well-placed shots that make Leon and Joe duck. They come back up, firing, but Robo has disappeared into the pressing plant. Interior, the pressing plant. The SUX swerves and weaves between ancient hot rolling presses and the huge girders that support the ceiling. The turbo cruiser shadows its every move. In the turbo cruiser, Lewis smashes into the back of the SUX. Clarence twists and turns, but Lewis pulls up beside the SUX and grinds into it, forcing Clarence towards a rolling press. In the SUX, Clarence veers away, dodging machinery. He reaches across the seat for his Cobra as Lewis pulls in behind him again. He juggles the big gun, tipping it out the side window. He looks up. What he sees? A monster. It's Emil, the incredible man. The incredible melting man. He staggers, mouth corroded into a gaping, silent scream, arms flailing in the air. The SUX flattens Emil, smashes up against the length of a rolling press, and rolls. In the turbo cruiser, Lewis watches the SUX crunch into a support girder. She breaks to a stop 40 feet away. Clarence is slumped over the wheel, his head on the horn. His Cobra AC lies on the ground near the car. Robo hears the horn and changes direction. Joe pulls himself up on a catwalk. He looks across to Leon, who climbs the last few stairs to the glass operations booth suspended high above the plant floor. He signals across to Joe, pointing toward the sound of the horn, then smashes the door open with the butt of his Cobra. Inside are dusty consoles full of switches. Joe lopes along the catwalk. The SUX smokes and the horn blares. Lewis approaches carefully. She kicks the Cobra aside, wary of Clarence, still slumped at the wheel. She opens the door. Clarence coils back and shoots her 3 times with his .45. Lewis is knocked back violently as bullets tear into her chest, her side, and her leg. Robo runs across the open floor. Banks of lights go on overhead. Up on a catwalk, Joe spots him below. He points and shouts. Interior, glass operations booth. Leon throws breaker switches, and the vast space around him is suddenly lit. Now he smashes one of the huge glass windows over the power plant floor with the barrel of his Cobra. Clarence climbs stiffly out of the car. He sees Robo coming and makes a move for his fallen Cobra AC. Robo aims and fires. Clarence goes down. He coughs and gets back up again. There's a huge dent in the flak jacket. A flattened slug falls to the ground as he takes off running. Robo aims again. Joe appears behind him on a catwalk and opens fire. The ground explodes under him and he goes down, rolling, returning fire, stopping when he reaches Lewis. Her body is rocked by the explosion of a twist bullet nearby. Robo drags her to cover behind the wrecked sucks, lifting her face close to his. Robovision. Cradled in massive mechanical hands, Lewis has the sweet face of a dead child. We look up to Joe, who crosses from one catwalk to another in a flanking maneuver. In a moment, Robo's position will be exposed. Robo lays Lewis's head down gently and breaks cover. Joe fires to the end of his clip. Robovision. Twist bullets knife by and explode behind us. Command graphic, combat mode. Complex schematic analysis of Joe's position. Robo ducks for cover behind a steel support girder. Joe's twist bullets make the girder flex and shake. A video rangefinder scopes in on the back of Robo's head behind the girder from high above. Interior glass control booth. Leon the sniper lies in a prone firing position with the gun braced across a console and pointed out the broken window. He pulls the trigger. The steel pylon. A twist bullet impacts and burrows in 3 inches of Robo's temple. Robo hits the ground as the pylon explodes. Steel roof and I-beam supports crash down in a big pile on top of Robo. Joe, very excited, very pumped up, shouts in amazement, wiping his mouth as the dust settles below. Leon leans into the heavy Cobra, using the rangefinder to explore the damage. Video rangefinder scopes past rusted plate, twisted black steel, Robo's hand, and finally the back of his head. Lewis's hand quivers, flexes, moves across her face. She opens her eyes. Everything hurts. She touches the wound under her collarbone. Above her, she sees Leon leaning out of the glass booth.
I got him. Check it out. Make sure he's dead.
Clarence walks to the rubble of the fallen roof, humming, toying with a grenade.
Hold your fire. I promised somebody I'd take care of this personally.
He pulls the pin. Robo turns his head painfully to see Clarence approaching.
Sayonara, Robocop.
He tosses the grenade and skips backwards. It bounces through the scrap and lands a foot from Robo's face. Robo twists in the steel, grabbing for the grenade. Clarence, shocked as Robo rises out of the steel scrap, holding the grenade and hurling it with calculation towards Joe on the catwalks. The grenade brushes over the lip of the catwalk and spins in place 3 feet from Joe. He turns and runs as it explodes. The shattered end of the catwalk swings free and Joe tumbles down, falling through free space and screaming as he lands on top of a crumbled wall, impaled by a spike of rebar. Interior glass operations booth. Leon draws a bead on Robo. Lewis rolls over in agony, pulls herself to the Cobra, grabs it, falls on her back, and fires as she passes out. Interior glass operations booth. A twist bullet pounds to the floor and burrows into Leon's chest just below the sternum. He coughs, amazed, dropping his Cobra. The glass booth above the plant floor explodes in a shower of glass and carnage. Joe hangs from the wall. He can see his Cobra a few feet below. He grabs the spike of rebar and with great pained effort hoists his body up the spike. Then he hears the growl of 2 angry dogs. The shepherd leaps and takes a piece out of his leg. The Doberman jumps much higher, sinking rows of sharp teeth between Joe's legs. The shepherd lunges again. Robo turns toward Clarence, advancing, his gun held low. Clarence backs up, pulling the pin on his last grenade, lobbing it. Robo fires and the grenade explodes in the air near Clarence, knocking him off his feet. Clarence scrambles backwards on the ground as Robo comes toward him. Robo spins the gun in his holster. Clarence backs up to a wall. There's no escape. He breaks into a grin.
Okay, man, I give up.
Robo picks him up by the neck, slamming him against the side of the rolling press.
I'm not arresting you anymore.
Robo cocks his fist. Clarence sees it coming. A great fan of blood colors the wall. Lewis looks very small lying on the ground. Robo slings his Cobra over his shoulder and picks Lewis up, cradling her, walking toward the open doors. Outside, it's dawn. She coughs, looks up at Robo, chuckles.
Murphy, I'm really a wreck. Ruth's gonna be pissed.
The shepherd falls in beside them. Exterior steel yard, dawn. 2 cop cars wind into the compound and pull up as Robo carries Lewis past the battered turbo cruiser. Ramirez, Chessman, Starkweather, and Kaplan jump out of the cars, approaching Robo. Kaplan takes Lewis from Robo.
Jesus fucking Christ, Murphy.
Get her to the hospital.
Robo turns, heading for the turbo cruiser, torn and battered, sitting in the open bay doors. Robo gets in, fires the remaining turbine, and races by the cops. They watch him leave.
Officer down. Repeat. Officer down. Central, I need a medevac unit.
Exterior, OK Steelworks, morning. The ragged turbo cruiser roars through the gates under the fading OK Steelworks sign. Exterior, freeway off-ramp, day. The turbo cruiser blasts the twists and turns of a complicated freeway interchange past the Delta City sign that reminds us the future has a silver lining. Exterior, hill overlooking city, day. The turbo cruiser drives down into the financial district. Dozens of skyscrapers sparkle in the morning sun. Above them all rises the Omnicon Tower. Exterior, Omnicon Tower, day. The turbo cruiser pulls up to the curb, across a sculpture garden in the glass lobby of the OCP Tower. Robo guns the car, jumps the curb, and races toward the sculpture garden, weaving between statues. Interior, OCP Tower, boardroom, day. Jones addresses the 9 o'clock staff meeting. The old man and other familiar corporate honchos are present.
As far as I'm concerned, they can strike forever. I've got a 209 downstairs guarding the building right now. At the end of the week, we can have more in place all over the city.
Old man, nodding, thinking. Exterior, OCP Tower, lobby entrance. ED 209 turns at the sound of an approaching car. The turbo cruiser slows to a stop. ED 209 plods toward the turbo cruiser, bringing his cannon arms up to fire.
Your vehicle is illegally parked on private property. You have 15 seconds.
Robo steps out of the car, brings up the Cobra AC with one hand, and fires. ED 209's armor. Thuck. A neat 20mm hole appears then. ED 209 twists wildly out of control and explodes. 2 disembodied robot legs topple to the ground. Robo tosses aside the Cobra and heads for the tower entrance. He looks mad. Interior, OCP Tower, boardroom. Jones is summing up.
In the last few days of this crisis, this corporation has lived up to the guiding principles of its founder. Courage, strength, conviction. Well, if I have anything to say about it, and rumor has it I might, we will continue to meet each new challenge with the same aggressive attitude.
The double doors splinter and Robo walks into the room. Executives gasp, terrified. Someone grabs a phone. RoboVision, the prime directives pump up the screen as we scan the room. Directive 1, protect and serve the public trust. Directive 2, uphold the law. Directive 3, OCP product ID number 943054-8C. Directive 3 flashes in silent warning.
God, this is an outrage. Security, holy shit.
Only the old man retains his composure. He stands.
How can we help you, officer?
Robo stands at attention.
Dick Jones is under suspicion of murder, conspiracy, aiding and abetting a known felon. My program does not allow me to act against an officer of this company.
This is absurd, preposterous. This man is a violent mechanical psychopath wanted by the police.
There are serious charges. Do you have evidence?
Robo flicks the terminal strip out of his fist and shoves it in an access port on the boardroom table. The overhead monitor racks snap on with a burst of static. Then, Dick Jones from an earlier conversation recorded in his office.
I had to kill Bob Morton because he made a mistake. Now it's time to erase the mistake.
Executives gasp. This is really shocking. Jones is stricken. Having your cover blown is almost the worst thing that can happen to a corporate animal. 2 Omnicom security guards fly into the room, guns drawn. Robo low bridges one and hurls the other one forward against the boardroom table. The guard's gun skitters across the table. Jones lunges for the gun and comes up firing. Executives dive under the table. Only the old man doesn't move. Robo annoyed as 2 bullets ping off his chest.
Come on.
Jones grabs the old man, puts the gun to his head, and uses him as a shield.
I want a chopper now. We will walk calmly to the roof. I will board the chopper with my hostage. Anyone who tries to stop me, the old geezer gets it.
The old man turns bright red.
You're fired, Dick.
Robovision. The prime directives disappear suddenly. The old man stomps his heel into Jones's instep and elbows him hard in the gut. Jones gasps, momentarily thrown off balance. Command graphic? Targeting. Robo smiles as he draws and fires 4 shots. Joan is knocked back toward the windows by 2 shots. The third takes out the glass. The fourth hurls him out of it as he wails for 151 stories. This is probably the worst thing that can happen to a corporate animal. Robo gives his Auto 9 a spin and sides it into his holster. He walks out. The old man has a glint in his eye.
Nice shooting, son. Oh, what's your name?
Robo over his shoulder.
Murphy.
Media break. Jess Perkins over. Reporters hassle Bixby Snyder and his lawyers as they leave a courtroom. Bixby Snyder pulls his coat over his head. In Hollywood today, Bixby Snyder, star of TV's popular It's Not My Problem, was arraigned in Superior Court on charges that he accepted sexual favors from his underage co-stars in return for job security. We'll be back in a moment. Commercial 7. Luminescent pink grapes glisten with beads of water in a greenhouse on the moon. The earth rises in the sky. When passion courses through the limbs of lovers, they look to the moon for inspiration. Rouse that passion with Industrial Moon Colony Wine. Industrial Moon Colony Wine, a division of Moon Corp. Casey Wong, behind a graphic, a shiny police badge.
Detroit got its police force back today. In a surprising turn of events, Omicron agreed to key demands made by striking police. In a night of widespread looting and lawlessness, there were moments of heroism. Justin Ballard Watkins has more on this story at Henry Ford Memorial Hospital.
Justin Ballard Watkins stands with other reporters in Lewis's crowded hospital room. Mayor Gibson sits on a hospital bed having a personal chat with Lewis. Lewis smiles weakly.
Officer Ann Lewis. Even while on strike, she risked her life to uphold the law. Broken bones, shot 3 times. What a girl. What a cop. Excuse me, Your Honor. Ann, have you ever considered another line of work?
No, I like being a cop. And you know what they say, if you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen.
Back to you, Casey.
Casey Wan and Jess Perkins wind it down.
I don't know about you, but I'll sleep a little better tonight.
Thanks for watching Media Break. Next time you see a cop, smile. Exterior Turbo Cruiser, night, titles over. The Turbo Cruiser prowls through old Detroit. Robo scans the dark streets, ever vigilant. Somewhere, there's a crime happening.
Dead or alive, you're coming with me.
What's with the dog?
Love it.
I'll tell you that in a minute. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and good night.